Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is our third and final and probably most prestigious game, or day rather, of the Twisted Minds 1v1 tournament. We saw on Friday night some of our lower ranked players coming through there and saw some exciting action. Saturday ramped it up even more as we saw Joshua taking the title then. And today we bring you the best of the best. It is the Grand Champions and Supersonic Legends going to be coming through here today, along with some Champ 3 players. I'm Ultrism. Joining me today for this cast is Muzz. How you doing?
Good in yourself, Ultrism. What's happening? How's the vibe?
Oh, I'm excited, man. Like, I got to do the first 2 days of this tournament, and the ridiculous things that we started seeing. On Saturday, we saw everything from air dribbles to flip reset goals. That's what we saw in the medium ranked guys. I mean, medium is maybe a bit of a push, considering these guys were still, Diamond 3 to Champ 2. So you're still very, very good players. Now I'm excited to see. And this is also some of the top names in the country that we're going to get to see today.
Yeah, no, it's going to be hot. And like you said, now we're looking a bit of the upper echelon now when we're looking at high champs to GC and Supersonic. Pool 3, Ultrism, super exciting. First match, Daisy taking on To Die For. It's going to be hot. And then, of course, followed up by Upego and Chase. Unfortunately, we did have Joshua pull out there, so demos will be moving forward. And, of course, Galaxy sadly pulled out there as well. So Casper gets the free win. And that semi-final game, Ultrism, demos versus Casper. They get to take a rest. They get to kind of watch all the action and already start in a semi-final. I don't know whether that's good or bad.
Do you really think they're going to be resting? Like, when you've got both of those guys. I mean, Casper is one of the best known ones players in the country. There's a lot of hype around him. I'm sure there's a lot of people who are tuning into the stream just to watch him. And so, like, I can imagine Demo is going to be intimidated. But Casper also has a lot to prove. And Demo is definitely not an opponent to be underestimated. So I think they might actually just be training for the next 10, 20 minutes until their game comes on.
Yeah, I was going to say, I actually think I saw Casper in a private lobby a little earlier, so I know how much he likes to warm up and scrum. I'm sure Upego's doing the same. In fact, all these guys are probably doing the same as well. So Daisy versus To Die For here, Ultrism. I know we're a little off air earlier, we'll chat in. It should be a very good game. Both these accomplished, decent mechanical players. I think I'm personally leaning a little more towards Daisy to pip the win. Don't know how you're feeling about that.
Okay, I was actually going towards To Die For. To Die For is someone that I have gotten to see a couple of times, and so I think it could go either way. I think it's going to be close. I certainly don't think we're going to get a 2-0 sweep here. That's my caster's curse right now. We'll see if that comes out. But definitely, I think it should be hotly contested for these guys, and I think the way that they play is going to be something that everyone can learn from, because I don't think anyone here has to rely on mechanical skill to do it, even though they can do it. I think the strategy behind it, the being out of position or the quick turnaround goals are going to be a lot less than what we've seen in the other guys, where they go, I'm just going to dive for this ball and then get themselves stuck on the other side of the field. I think here we're going to have a lot more cautious, a lot more thought out play between all of the players in today's tournament.
Yeah, and I mean, what do you think about like the quick kickoffs and stuff like that? I mean, are we going to see a lot of maybe kickoff goals? Is it kind of first player to the ball maybe has the upper advantage when it comes to ones? Of course, pipping that ball behind someone, stuff like that.
I mean, we did see a lot of the kickoff goals. I would say every game has at least 2 or 3 kickoff goals that we really can turn the tide, and it can go to either player. I didn't see anyone really dominating. Last week we did see a hat-trick of kickoff goals where there were 3 goals scored instantly by one player. I can't remember who that was.
Oh, that's sick.
That was insane to watch. So definitely kickoff goals, very, very important, but it's certainly not something you can rely on. If you can win half of them, it certainly gives you the momentum advantage, and you can certainly get back any goals that you need to, but not going to be the make or break for most of these guys, I would say.
No, and like you said, a couple of flicks and flip resets and, decent play in kind of pool 1 to pool 2. Now it's like, well, hell, what can we expect if the guys are high champ to GC? I think, definitely some, the normal things we get from ones. Decent shadowing, a bit of fake touches, and then, of course, are we going to see some dirty flicks? Probably a lot of aerial plays if you can get past the man. Especially, well, not even especially from just one type of play. I think from all of these guys, I think it's going to be pretty decent Rocket League.
I must admit, that's the thing is I think they're going to start out with just ground plays, trying to get the dribbles going, get some decent flicks. I wouldn't be surprised to see them pull out some weird variations of the flicks, pop it up and then go for a musty flick in the air or a cheek, very quick air dribble off a normal dribble, pop it up and then follow it into a backboard redirect or something like that. I think we could see a lot of those. It's going to start like that, but if they find themselves coming up against an opponent that maybe is able to shatter them well enough, then they're going to have to go on the wall. Then they're going to have to start throwing them onto the backboard and playing those much higher risks. That's why people in the lower ranks maybe don't want to go for that, because if you start the air dribble and then get one touch wrong and you end up sailing past the ball just drops down. It's an easy goal the other way. So, high risk, but maybe what's going to be needed to get past the very stringent defense of some of these players.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing with ones is your high risk, high reward. Of course, you mess up once, so you make mistakes, of course, and you can get scored on. You just have to get kind of the ball past you or popped over you, and then you kind of have the back third of the field open, and of course your goal kind of bears. So yeah, ones difficult mode, and of course I think we all know how much you learn from ones and how kind of important it actually is to play ones. But I think we all like to avoid ones. It's tricky. It's a little bit of a bastard.
I personally like just having the reliance on my teammates because I know I'm going to mess up. And that's the difference, is you can go for super aggressive plays knowing that there's someone behind you. If you go, oh, well, that didn't work, then you got someone or even two people to come up behind you. All you're looking for is a sort of touch to the center that someone else is going to be able to sink. Yeah, like every touch counts, and you cannot waste any of them. And you certainly can't give away idle balls and towards the center. And so I personally avoid ones like the plague. I think I played maybe like 3 games of ones online ever. But it does. It ramps up your skill levels, your individual skills so much, because you have to be able to get it right. You can't just get 80% of it. You have to get your mechanics and your positioning perfect.
Yeah, no, for sure, it's decent. Well, it looks like we're heading into our first lobby with Daisy and Tadafo best of 3 Ultrism. I'm expecting an absolute banger.
Oh, this is going to be exciting. All right, so you're going Daisy. I'm going for Tadafo. I've already said I don't think it's going to be a 2-0. Do you think it's going to be a 2-1 just to Daisy, or do you think Daisy's really got this and be able to pull this out?
No. I've seen To Die For kind of every now and again play, and I know he's pretty decent, so it's definitely going to be a 2-1. We will get that game 3, maybe a couple of overtimes in those 3 games as well would be super sweet. But no, definitely not a sweep. And yeah, in fact, chatting a little earlier with the organizers, seems like there were a couple of upsets and people pulling the rabbit out of the hat. So maybe you're also going to be right, Ultrism. I wouldn't be bleak if that was the case.
All right, guys, if you're in chat, welcome. We're very excited to get into this first game. Let us know who you think is going to take the rest of this tournament. Reminder of who is here to bring you some action tonight. The 6 players are Daisy and To Die For, who we've got in our first game here. Josh Paul, otherwise known as Yopego, versus Chase. Both of these guys have lots of tournament experience. And then our second semi-finals, which is already set up, is Demos versus Wee Casper. As we jump here into our first game, guys, bring out your predictions, bring out your top 3. I want to see how many people can know the South African scene well enough as we jump off into our first game. It is going to be an instant 50-50 kickoff there. To Die For with quick mechanics already putting on pressure, but very, very well handled by Daisy, just matching it every turn. To Die For going to be able to pick it up, gets the flick. This is going to be our first goal. No! Daisy going to be able to defend that, and so already we're seeing everyone have the match that they need to. Again, To Die For looking to put it up the aggressive and manages to slot it into the bottom right-hand corner with that fake jump.
Yeah, and kind of just the attempted shots we were talking about earlier, already coming up with the flicks, and Daisy just finding the bump pass, and of course, you don't really know what is going to happen. Of course, so Daisy getting scored on, and yeah, nice little bump play there. Decent bounce coming off for To Die For, and takes the first blood, so to speak, Ultrism. So, so far things heading in your direction. That's good.
Oh. To Die For nearly managing to find that side there, just doing a good job again of faking out, and I think the mentality here is going to be interesting. Gets the second touch, has got bumped to the other side of the field, but it's not going to matter. To Die For slots it into the center, just so quick into the air there.
Decent check. Get over one. Is it? Yeah, it gets the bump, and of course the trajectory of the ball already was going the distance. So already 2 up a minute. I mean less than 40 seconds have elapsed in this game, but that's the thing with ones. You can kind of get scored 9 on. If you're quick enough. So yeah, To Die For on a decent trajectory at the moment.
I like this play by Tadafor, just not wanting to commit to anything, rather goes for the shadow play. Daisy's got a nice jump up there, has the beautiful flick, but well defended so far from Tadafor. Is going to actually go for the pinch, gets it past Daisy, and so going to be pushing up with very little boost. Going to be an aggressive play, doesn't again pick up boost, and so Daisy going to the air. This is the aerial play that we're talking about. Goes past it though, had a great opportunity there, and is now a little bit boost starved. Going to be able to pick this up. Gets the demo onto Tadafor, so even though it trickles across the net, no follow-up, and again, Daisy going to be looking to take it up into the air.
Yeah, and such kind of momentary chances when you do have the demo, and of course the Tadafor being able to start in his side of the field, so that's fine. Like you said, trickles past face. Oh, Tadafor, third. Wow, goes wide though. Quick recovery. Oh, nice. Picks up the hat trick early on.
That pre-jump by Daisy. I thought this first one was going to go through. You can see Tadafor very comfortable in the air. And Daisy just trying to cover that center of the net, thinking it's going to be a much harder shot. And ends up trickling underneath. So far, Tadafor in a great position and dominating the base of this match. Not to say that Daisy hasn't had opportunities there.
Yeah, but definitely doing so superbly well in this first game. And where that gun goes down to that 2-1. Oh, Daisy, close. Whether it goes to that 2-1, but it, towards the side of Tadafor, then that's okay as well. As long as we get good Rocket League on our hands and force that game through, it's fine. Yeah, long ball all the way back. Tadafor slots it in, walks it home. And this is that awkwardness of one's altruism. If you get kind of caught where you're not at the back and you've played, too aggressively forward and you can get beaten by the man, then there it is. And I mean, a 69 kph very slow goal, but a goal nonetheless.
And, that was the problem, is Daisy committed to that corner. And if you're committing to a corner and it doesn't go out, then you kind of leave yourself stuck in the wrong position. So therefore, going to meet this one as it comes down. Daisy going to push it all the way back. So there's half. And so again, now Tadafor in the corner. And the corner is so dangerous. This could actually be the attempt. The long shot's going to come in. I don't think Tadafor is going to be able to get back. Actually manages to get it onto the crossbar. Huge defensive plays coming out from Tadafor, being able to match the pace of Daisy at every step, and this one's going to go long and high, going to be chasing it as well. Instead decides to go down, is going to leave this for Daisy, and so Daisy opportunity again, going for the aerial dribble, gets one touch, gets the second touch, is going to get the bump as well, and Daisy draws the blood that they needed to get back into this competition.
Yeah, and he had about half a tank of beans there as well, so he was able just to take it all the way to the net, gets the bump, and has 10 left. So just got it through, and beautiful play there. So Daisy on the scoreboard finally gets 1 goal, 3-goal differential. A lot of time left as well, and of course with ones, we know how quick it can be. You can make a 3-goal comeback in 2.5 minutes. So hopefully Daisy's gonna be able to pull it out.
Daisy goes for a great shot there. Tadafor with the presence of mind to stay on that backboard. Most players won't be able to do this, and now it's up to Daisy to get some sort of defense. And look at where these guys are being able to defend from. It's literally anywhere on the field they're able to get this. Daisy doesn't have a lot of boost, but has a great flick, very high. Tadafor going to be able to control this down. Really nice. Again, just not wanting to kick it away, not wanting to lose possession, and gets a huge flick. It is going to bounce off the backboard. Gets the bump, though. It means that Tadafor going to be able to come out of that one unscathed.
Tadafor just a little too hard with that flick, had just a bit more, too much power for a shot for how close it was to that goal. And yes, unfortunately hitting that crossbar. Beautiful save early on that crossbar as well, coming up from Tadafor. So decent. Like you said, these guys, they can definitely save from anyone on the field. They're just so quick, and of course their rotations are brilliant, and they're just, able to cover space that, in the lower kind of medals and levels of Rocket League, we're a little more sluggish and a little slower. So, we're going to see some phenomenal kind of groundwork getting covered by these guys.
And this one, Daisy should be able to slot that in nicely, being able to defense. Good defense coming out so far, managing to get that Savior medal with the 3 saves, and does the work to be able to turn around, picks it up beautifully, sends it towards the center, and taps it in at the end. So both of them being covered by the defense. This time it was just Tadafor being overextended just a little bit.
Yeah, and Daisy with just a decent catch, as you mentioned. Nice little control, kept the ball on the nose and was able to play it in. Oh, again, there we go. So coming back slowly, gets his own hat-trick now finally, and he's closing the gap ever so slowly.
And that's what you're talking about, is in ones, it really is, every mistake is a difference. Every mistake can be punished, and so the fact that Daisy's managed to shore up their mistakes and come back and get some goals brings us to a 1-goal differential. In ones, this could be anything. It really can turn around 3 or 4 goals in a matter of minutes. It was just a minute and a half to slot in these 3 goals, and so with the last minute left here, has plenty of time to get up this last goal if needed be. but Tudafo still has the lead as we go into the last dying moments of this game.
Oh, can it drop? Oh, Daisy.
Okay.
Lovely.
Oh man, Tudafo came down there with the pace, and I don't actually know how this demo came out. It was Daisy getting taken out there, but did enough work. Just that early little touch. Maybe Tudafo still recovering from coming off the wall there, and we are leveled up. We did say this was going to be a close game, and we already have a tied scoreline.
Yeah, I usually find like every now and again you could get awkward things like that happens where there's a demo but you can still score. So of course, they clashed, the demo, Daisy got taken out, but then of course, he was able to get the rebound and still score on Tudafo. So, very kind of nice, decent, or even lucky play coming out there for him. But nonetheless, it's tied up. Can there be a flick left-hand corner? Okay. Tudafo not going down without a fight, that's for sure.
Daisy flicked it just a little bit too far off the wall, not being able to regain that position, especially with the lack of boost, and trying valiantly to guard that near post and get up into Tudafo, managing to push out most of those flicks so far, but this one beautifully placed. And that's the thing, it's not just can you get a decent flick, it's can you get a decent flick of decent power in the right place. And now Tudafo looking to cement this victory here, gets a second one, bounces off the crossbar, but manages to still manages to shut that one down and put it in the back of the net. Daisy going down the last few seconds here.
Oh, and that handbrake turn, if Daisy was quite close to trying to get almost in there, but unfortunately, of course, that power shot coming up from Tudafo and just slotted in. So 2-goal difference. That should be the clock running out. They can just kill this ball now. Tudafo down. Okay, down in the corner. 2-goal win there, Altruism. So Tudafo taking game 1, and I might not have the Irish luck that I think I do. So I'm just gonna kind of bow my head a little low.
But let's be fair, this is first game, considering it has been 11 shots for Tudafo, just showing that aggression coming out there. And Daisy made 8 shots still. That's a lot of shots. It's a lot of opportunities. Just managing to not get as much aggressive, being slightly more on the defense. And when you're on the defense in ones, you can only get it right so many times until eventually someone like Tudafo is going to be able to find the back of the net. And they're just both being able to pick it up and control the ball. So Tudafo looking just that touch more dangerous, but certainly not running away with that first game. And what a way to start our tournament for today is you don't want to see a whitewash. And I'd like to see Daisy rally and come back in the second game.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, he really rallied in the back half of that game, kind of pulled the 4 out. It was 6-4 at the end of the day, but Daisy definitely kind of dug in deep, found the grit, and was able to do it. I think if he has the 1-goal lead at the beginning and has a bit of cushion, and then of course we can see kind of a bit more coming up from Daisy. It's nice to have a bit of that confidence boost at the beginning and maybe a bit of a safety net, and that's what Tudafo had. Up by 2, he kind of just relaxed, was able to get the decent flicks, and I think Daisy needs it in his corner. Oh, and Tudafo.
Daisy just got a little bit closer, and that seems to be where Tudafo is actually doing really, really well. Is as soon as they get very close together and Tudafo has that first touch, is able to do enough of it, just avoiding the 50-50 and instead putting it pretty high. Even if the shot's not on goal, it's doing enough to get it past your opponents, and then it's just a case of can you get there before they get a chance to recover and come back. So, good job so far from Tudafo, and again, setting up very aggressively here. Puts it nice and high. Daisy has got this one measured. But Tudafo still realizes that wasn't the goal opportunity. Has left this one open in the middle and has to do some work backwards. Is going to be able to get there before Daisy, but still put under a bit of pressure.
I think that was going a bit wide as well. I'm not sure if Daisy would have scored that. It did look like it was going to go for right-hand post this. Of course, Tudafo get in the touch, get in the rebound. Flick again. Oh, the monster.
Cannot give Tudafo space. It's just the fact that they're able to get it onto the back of the car and flick it perfectly every time, or near as perfect as any player in this tournament. But once you give them that space, they can air dribble it. Really, really good play and really intimidating to go against. Oh, Tudafo, can you get up for this? No, yes! In fact, decides to meet it on the far post and gets the 3-goal lead again. This is very similar to the first game.
Similar, exactly. Altruism up already by 3. We've, hardly just got into this game. And to dive for, he's having a fantastic time. He's just catching Daisy on the back foot every time, winning these kickoffs. Not being able to put in this goal. That's fine. Daisy got there quickly. But to dive for having a decent time. And just good boost management as well. Seems to always pick up the mid boost, gets the hundreds. Never kind of caught wanting, really.
It's a nice bit of play there. And it's like you say, oh, this one is going to be in, though. No way Daisy can clear this one out. And it's just... when you get those kickoffs consistently, like to die for is, even just slightly in your favor, you end up putting in a shot and Daisy has to then do the work. And when Daisy's doing the work, just gets a save, which puts it back to die for. That possession that to die for is being able to maintain consistently is really giving them the advantage that they're able to push forward. And if it's not the first shot, it's going to be the second, third, fourth one that they're able to come through with.
And you can bide your time in ones, you don't have to kind of aggressively play it the whole time, and you can wait for those mistakes. Own goal.
I think that was the Jazer flick, in fact, managing to get around this, and from halfway down, just gets around and curls it so beautifully. Doesn't have to wait for any amount of time to try and send it pacing in there. Just gets it above Tadafo, and valiant attempt by Tadafo, but it ends up just putting in even more. And we talked about the similarities with the first game. How much more similar do you want? The 4-1 scoreline. This is going to change it up, though. Tadafo sinks in a 5th.
And just the variety of flicks and plays kind of being bred by players, the Ultras. And like you said, this Jazer flick. It's just, the mechanical skill and what you can do is phenomenal in Rocket League. And you can just kind of make up things, as far as your imagination can stretch, really.
No, 100%. And I think that's what a couple of new players tend to get wrong. They go, oh, this is the unbeatable flick. I just need to learn this and I will win every one of the games. It's not about that. It's about having so many tools in your arsenal that you're able to then go forward and choose the correct one at any time. This one just hits that upper corner. Beautiful attempt. Daisy going to be able to sink it for the second one. And so when you've got all of these different techniques that you can do, and you know when to start choosing them, then it becomes very, very important. Sometimes it's the simple power shot that gets it. Sometimes, though, when your opponent has matched every one of your attempts so far, then you have to start pulling out something special.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of what's that secret weapon that you've got there in the backpack. So 3-goal difference here. Daisy kind of coming back as we saw in the first game as well. So he's clawing back slowly, but kind of far lead for to die for, and I'm sure he'll be able to score again. So Daisy needs to get in a lot of work to do so, kind of needs to be able to beat the man. Oh, close. And now, can he race back in time to save this?
Has got the boost advantage and does get the pinch. This could actually turn around the other way. Tadafo has managed to pick up that corner boost, but it's still going to go the way of Daisy. Daisy managing to push it out far. Is going to want to challenge this? No, decides to instead go for the boost and give Tadafo some space. A long punt down to the other side of the field means Tadafo loses possession. It's up to Daisy now. Can he get another flick? Turning it around, drops it off the top of the car though, and so nothing yet. And so Tadafo still holding on to a 3-goal lead as we go into the last 2 minutes. Make that a 4-goal lead, slots it in towards the center, and Daisy gonna have to do some work very quickly.
Yeah, no, 2 minutes left in ones, a lot of time, but down by 4, it's very, very tough. They found him from the side of the play, decent play down the line. And just Daisy just needing to rush back to save this. Very tough to die for, having a crack of a time. Ultras, potentially the sweep is coming out, but it's going to be too old to die for. So, and here we go, long shot. Can he play it in from the side? Should be able to easily. All right. Semi-Brazil. I don't know, it's up by 1. Does this even count as a Brazil anymore?
Yeah, I think it still counts as a good scoreline when you're Tadafo. It's not the technical Brazil, but I don't think that Tadafo is going to be too upset about that extra goal there. And so, again, Daisy just falling behind. It just seems that Tadafo has got far more attempts. Oh, that little power shot there coming out of almost no space. Again, Daisy now has the opportunity, is going to get the flick over the top, gets the demo, and so going to have a bit of time, but has to find the immaculate angle. But instead, Tadafo just spawns on the absolutely perfect side. Okay.
Yeah, it's just, demo down by 5, so it's cool, but it's going to be tough, yeah. Can he get over the one with the bounce again? Nah, he's going to be able to pop it off the wall. Does have the beans to do so. Oh, he's got a full tank, that's fine. Oh, over. Empty net. No, he's just showing off at this point. He's just showing off.
Yeah, there was absolutely no need to get that extra touch or just make it look so pretty with that extra play. Gets the full rotation on the car before the flick as well. And so it's just doing exactly what's needed every single time. And the scoreline shows that.
Yeah, no, definitely does. So, to die for having a fantastic time. Well, of course, if he's going to go through to that semi-final, then of course, we do know it's going to be either Upega or Chase. So, tough game ahead of him, though. He's kind of just had the appetizer for now, and he's going to be heading to that main course.
And certainly, Daisy, no, okay. I thought Daisy had given that one away if Tadafo had been a little bit more aggressive. Obviously, Chase and Upego are very, very well known in the South African scene. Both of them very proficient players, and so I think Tadafo set themselves up in a very good warm-up match here, if that's what you want to call it, because, wow, I think at this rate, could take on anyone in this pool. I think even we, Casper, looking at this is going, all right, I know that there's a lot of things that I need to be careful of.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Like you said earlier, this is a ton of skilled players in Pool 3. Everyone is good. Everyone has played hours and hours of Rocket League, and you just can't count anyone out. So no, it's going to be tough going forward. And yeah, 10 seconds left on the clock, down by 6. I think Daisy kind of have a last-ditch attempt here, easily kept out by Tadafo. They're kind of just swatting him away. Really, wasn't too hard. Can he get the last one in? Beaten by the clock, though. Ultrism up by 6. Phenomenal series, 2-0. Yeah, Tadafo had a grand time.
I think 16 shots may be the record for the highest number of shots I've seen in a game. Obviously, ones does give you more opportunities, but very rarely is it this one-sided where we get 16 shots for these players. What an amazing start here for Tadafo. Going to be going through to that first semi-finals. Our next game obviously going to be Upego or Josh Paul, as they registered in this tournament, versus Chase. Very, very exciting game. Tadafo very happy with the start. Congratulations to Daisy. Certainly showed that they belong in this ranking. Certainly belong in this tournament. Horrible to go out in the first round, but someone has to. And
yeah,
when you're going against Tadafo, you can't really blame yourself. That certainly wasn't a lack of skill from Daisy. I think it was just Tadafo running away and making the opportunities count.
Oh yeah, just having such a decent time. They just kind of getting so many flicks off. I mean, you're talking a lot earlier about how many kind of flicks and the plays everyone's doing. Just so many flicks coming out there. Tadafo, of course, a different variant coming out there from Daisy to score his goal, but just not enough. Not enough when it comes to ones. And of course, whether it's down to mistakes, whether you just beaten your opponent's faster. It's so tricky, and we spoke about how kind of we either avoid it or you lean in deep, because ones really does help you kind of grow as a player. And of course, ones tournaments like these are great for that. So kudos there to Tadafo and hard luck to Daisy. It was a very tough game. And of course, our next one that we're going to be looking forward to, Josh Paul taking on Chase. Like you said, two very accomplished players. GCs as well, grand champs. So it's going to be heating up here. Ultrism is going to be nice and toasty.
What I'm excited for is the fact that Daisy, we talked about it in the beginning that it was a mixture. It was going to be a mixture of ground play and aerial play. Daisy, I think, favored that aerial play and certainly pulled it off very well. Very consistent aerial plays, very consistent air dribbles. But that shouldn't be the only trick that you can go through. You should also be going for, like to die for, the number of flicks, the number of ground plays should be the core of your one's play, and then bolstered a little bit by those aerial plays. And so, you got to, again, choose the right tool for the situation. And Daisy would be able to take out most players with those air dribbles, even in 2s or 3s, but not being able to do it this time just because I think Tadafo has a lot of experience against people trying to do those air dribbles and was able to shut it down most of the time.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, just kind of having some mates to help you sometimes at the back, even if it's 2s, right? 2s is such a difficult mode as well, and we find guys like Skill Still and then play a lot of 2s and they do really well. And of course, just maybe relying on a partner sometimes is so crucial. And then ones you just kind of can't do it, right? It's just Imano to Imano, and this is kind of where they kind of separate the skill from the. I don't want to say the unskilled because that's a lot. Pool 3 doesn't have unskilled players at all. These guys are good, so
yeah.
But just someone's just obviously a little better than the other, sadly, and that's just how competition works, and it's great.
It was exactly like you say, is starting us off with a game like that is the way that we're expecting the rest of this tournament to go, and even just getting better from this point onwards. Everyone here has skills, so congratulations. We are going to quickly set up our lobby here with Josh Paul or Yopego. I see they are in our party. We're going to be jumping straight into that, guys. We're not going to go to a break just yet. So now let's talk about this next game up. Yopego, obviously very well known. Chase has come in a couple of them. My favorite tournament that I've seen Chase in so far was when they did the twos tournament. It was the low skill and high skill person together, and they went with a person by the name of Laser, and they actually had such cool psychology there where they both named themselves Chase and Laser, because then the opponents didn't know who was the pro and who was the lower player. And I think that just shows the attitude of Chase when it comes to something like this, just constantly thinking about Rocket League and what sort of different small things may make the difference.
Oh, no, that was great. Listen, I think I teamed up with Werty for that, and can I tell you, I was way out of my depth, because obviously Werty is also super good at Rocket League. And I think I played against that Chase Laser team, or at least I had seen them and those names that are so funny. Because sometimes just the psychology and beating people mentally in sports, that's key, man. Like your mental fortitude and grit is the way to go. And yeah, that's such a good memory, Altruism. Like, yeah, Chase and Laser. Those guys were memeing. It was beautiful.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see if we're going to get any memes going out here. Do you have a favorite in this one? I think Yopego, the slightly higher ranked person, or at least a slightly more well-known player in the South African scene.
Geez, I messed up in the last game as well. So, but no, I think it's a little easier this game. Definitely, Yopego, watched him play a lot of Rocket League. I know how he plays ones. Seen him and Casper obviously grind for months and months and months. Yeah, I definitely do see Yopego taking this out over Chase for sure.
All right, 2-0.
You know what? Yeah, possibly Altruism as well. Yeah, it's no dig at Chase. I just do think Yopego would be able to. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Certainly a very, very good competitor. Chase going to have a lot of work to do. It's going to be up to being able to get those opportunities and make them count. You know, everyone makes mistakes. Everyone opens themselves up for counterattacks. And so if we see Yopego maybe getting a little bit too aggressive, there is still going to be that time for a turnaround. And we did see in the previous game how quickly a 4-0 scoreline can turn to nothing.
Yeah, I was going to say, exactly, the comeback is so real in ones, of course, and in Rocket League just in general. It's so quick, and we saw how Daisy just could come back there so seamlessly and quickly. That first game going 6-4, so, now we know how decent Chase is, so I definitely think that's possible. And of course, I still bring it back to, like, if you score the first goal and maybe have a bit of a net and you can defend quite well and make sure you don't get caught behind, then you can do things. So let's see. I do know Yopego's quite fast though, it's very quick on the field, so we're going to see if Chase is able to keep up, what this kickoff's going to look like. We never saw any kickoff goals in the previous game. You mentioned quite a lot through pools 1 and 2, so maybe we're going to see if this game can do a little bit more of those for us.
You talk about the pace of someone like Yopego, and pace goes one of two ways. Either you can't play at the pace that you're trying to, and you end up enforcing more mistakes on yourself, or you catch your opponent by surprise. If Chase is not ready and thinks that they've got more time on the ball than they do, Yopego is just going to be on top of them and flatten them every time, being able to get slightly higher on the 50-50s or the jumps, being able to shut down what was going to be a decent dribble attempt and shutting it down before the complete control means that Chase is going to have every touch is going to matter. If you give it away even slightly, you've got a barreling Yopego coming down onto you, and you can turn around very, very quickly.
And I'm wondering what car he's going to come out with as well, because he loves to change vehicles kind of between games all the time as well. And I think, it's a nice relaxed one's Tourney. So let's see what comes out. If he can afford the Lambo, he's got the Lambo. If he's got the F-150, he's going to have the F-150. But yeah, definitely Josh Paul enjoys a bit of variety, and he's going to be, unfortunately the only potential 2 or 3 games in the series, but he would play every vehicle he could in the arsenal, I tell you.
Please tell me he also plays the Scarab, because that was something that we did see in the previous one. In fact, the Scarab came out as our victor in the previous tournament. It was the first time I've ever seen a Scarab used in pro play or competitive play like this, and it worked ridiculously well, like better than anyone I've seen.
Yeah, okay, well, let's see. I mean, he probably does play the Scarab, but I definitely wouldn't put it past him. You know, the usual comes out Octanes, Phoenix, Dominuses, you know, we get it. But he loves all the other stuff, you know, that the Jurassic Park Jeep. And, you know, like I said, if he's got the Ford 150 or the Lamborghini, it's going to definitely get a show in. So,
I'm excited to get to play with that Lamborghini. Lamborghini has always been my dream car. So when I saw it coming into Rocket League, I was like, this is my time. This is the only time in my life I'm going to own a Lamborghini. Let's make this count. And even if I don't play well, I'm just going to drive it around like a free play for a long time.
oh, yeah. I mean, they all look super sick. Yeah, of course, we've seen all the kind of ads and memes around the Ford, you know, 150. And is it going to be like an engine DCL and stupid stuff like that? And, oh, yeah.
All right, we are jumping into our first game here between Yopego and Chase. It is the second game of round one here. These two looking to go through into the semifinals against To Die For. So far, Yopego are going to be coming out slightly in advantage here, being able to pick up the boost, and has a good opportunity towards the center now. Going to be bumped out the way by Chase, but has got a good rotation. Is going to put a shot into it. Chase has it covered though, and now Yopego left with very little boost, has another attempt and then decides to go back.
Yeah, and just what we've expected from both these players. Very quick from the onset, you know, kind of no one able to get the ball. You can see the turnarounds are very quick. The Yopego was able to get around, beat that ball, Chase with a decent save. And yeah, so no one able to, oh, nice sidestep here, gets ball to wall. Is he going to be able to bring it down there from the side? Oh, Chase. You see, these guys are so incredibly quick that Chase was just able to get back onto that ball.
I mean, most people don't even realize that he's coming for that aerial play. Aerial play like that is risky in ones. And so far, they've been able to measure each other up quite well. Yopego's lost the boost advantage, so not going to have a lot to try to take it to the other side of the field. Great heads-up play coming out from Chase. But the one flick, that's all you need. Doesn't need any boost, has the car control instead, is able to pick it up and get that first goal between these two.
Yeah, and I mean, you just have to dribble to the man and then get the flick over. Just draw them out. You know, it's ones you can you can bring the defender out, and then of course they flick over the top. 1 minute though to score a goal. I think we maybe expected a little bit quicker, or we didn't, because of course we know the nature of both these players. You know, they're both so decent. So yeah, kind of 1-0 so far. Maybe I thought there'd be more on the scoreboard at this time, but yeah, they're both playing really well.
So far, Chase struggling a little bit with those dribbles, not being able to get up everything that they would have wanted. Not going to be able to get the aerial dribble going on with this as well. And so far, just poking and prodding, trying to find any opportunity that they can. And this could be it. It's rolling back towards the net. Yopego not going to be able to rotate back, and Chase gets a long goal.
Yeah, and it's just these touches, you know. He's able to beat the man, gets over the head. Now Yopego's up the side of the wall. They played down the line. Yeah, he tried to get back. I mean, it was going to be touch and go. He missed it by an inch. So there we go. So Chase equalizes. And, you know, that's the nature of ones, right? Get that ball past the man. He's caught wanting on the midfield line. And, yeah, you'll be able to slam it in long goal like that.
It was almost like Yopego there didn't respect how quickly Chase would be able to get to that ball, and pushed up and then realized, hang on, I'm out of position. Yopego going to be going up for an air dribble, has great control so far. Chase is already meeting it in the air. Chase has come off with a 50 and is able to turn around, shuts down the air dribble and gets a goal. That's the first lead for Chase.
Yeah, first lead for Chase. Again, nice 50 in the air, beating the man, played the bump, got it all the way down long. So, a slow goal as well, 87. But that's fine, because, you know, nothing at the back home there for Yopego. And, oh, yeah, okay, so Chase up, 2 minutes down, Ultrism. I mean, maybe game one is going to go to Chase and would be phenomenal, and maybe takes the whole series as well. We're going to have to see. He's definitely doing decent work against such a highly skilled player in Yopego.
Chase doing a good job there of being able to control that boost, and Yopego is going to steal this last one. Means Chase now has to make the work. He's going to put it very long, very high. Yopego up so quickly to that, manages to shut it down. And so far, Yopego being aggressive, being caught out a little bit in terms of goal advantage, but still looking to make this. Oh, this could be it. Comes in, would have liked that second touch as he fell down. Chase rotating so quickly though, manages to get it down, and still going back and forth across these blue goals.
Yeah, and just the bounce was a bit too heavy for Yopego, and he hit it wide this shot now as well. So, I mean, you know, kind of 2 opportunities to score, 2 opportunities gone wide. And, of course, now Chase with a decent respawn there as well. So he's able to get back and actually keep Yopego out. So far, so good there with the save as well, coming up from Chase. Still up by 1, having a blast over Yopego, and again with the save. So Chase, 2 very quick saves. And, yeah, just Yopego fighting for the second goal, that's for sure.
Yeah, I must admit, it's been relentless, just coming back and forth, but it may be too far. Doesn't have the boost to get back, and so one little touch by Chase. Chase doing such a good job of counter-attacking like this, being able to fend off the very valiant attempts coming out from Yopego, and being able to capitalize perfectly.
Yeah, no, finding the man at the back, empty, wanting, Chase now up at 2. Okay, so game 1 not really going the way kind of Yopego would expect it, and Chase having a phenomenal time of it, and he's maybe kind of feeling super haps. But definitely don't rest on your laurels, as there we go, beat him with the 50, has to be able to put it forward. Yopego picking up the 1. And yeah, now only down by 1, so a lot of time left to equalize at this point.
Just great heads-up play to be able to execute that again as it comes down. You got to pick it up on that first attempt that you got after the 50-50 comes out, or after your first little opportunity. You got to be able to extend that opportunity. Chase going to have a chance here. Is going to slide into the bottom right-hand corner. Yopego rotating very well, gives Chase the boost. So Chase again going to be able to control the boost, doing very well at that so far, and now Chase has the opportunity again. Yopego just trying to come back, is going to be in an awkward position, but flicks it very, very well backwards, and it is going to carry on. But again, Chase just denying all boost across the field. Yopego going to sneak in underneath him. And so far, Chase not afraid to ever go back onto his own backboard. Could come off the wall here. Is going to put it wide. Not the hard shot that he would have liked, because that was an open goal attempt. And with a minute left, I cannot believe there's only been 5 goals.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of the skill of these players and how well and how fast we've seen them getting around the park, and just kind of, like you said, the backboard reads, how well they're doing, the boost starving or the boost picking up. And yeah, 5 goals with the one difference, Yopego still has time to come back in this, but Chase definitely having the game of his life. And this is, the Rocket League I like to see, because I've played with Chase, I know him, and he does so well, sneaks it in there. And now down by 2, or at least Yopego down by 2. Yeah, the clock is ticking on Altruism, and this first game is only going to get tougher.
Man, you're really not having a good time with your predictions, are you? I must admit, Yopego came into this as the favorite, and so far, Chase looking like the more dominant player. Yopego could turn this around again. This is ones. You cannot count out a 2-goal lead as we go into the final 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, first game, Yopego coming back here slowly gets a decent read off the side of the wall there from that kickoff. Whether my predictions are right or wrong, I think Rocket League's going to win at the end of the day, so I'm not too worried.
Oh, I like that way. I'm sure the fans are agreeing with this one. This could be a second kickoff goal. Going to bounce, come off the backboard, just doesn't get there in time. Chase decides not to dive for this, and Yopego doing very well to pick this up. This could be the opportunity that they need. Oh, the dive comes through. Chase just slowing it down so nicely, just waiting out that time. Gets a flick over the top, and that shuts down Yopego's offensive opportunities. Even though Chase doesn't manage to push it the whole way, Yopego is going to go very high. Chase up into the air. 10 seconds left. Pressure is mounting on Yopego. This could be a good opportunity. Chase puts it very well off the side there, managing to come off that corner. And still, Yopego doesn't want to let this go. Chase is going to pop it up. Yopego has to keep this up now if he's going to keep alive in this first game. He's put himself in a very awkward position. Has to try collect it. Is going to get the flick. Again, it just goes back harmlessly across the blue goals. Now he's going to try and look for this off the wall. He's going to try and go for the air dribble. Chase has read this before. It was actually over Chase, but it touches down. Chase is your first winner.
Yeah, and listen, was that not close? I mean, we're lucky that there was about just a centimeter of ground prior to that goal so they could go down. Because, yeah, like you said, it beat Chase. And I tell you, if there were about 2 seconds left on that clock, Yopego would have had bottom right corner. So close, wiping sweat from the brow. Chase takes game number 1. Fantastic game. 4-3, though, so 7 goals, Altruism. But you see the 14 shots, though, from Yopego, though. So he was attacking relentlessly.
Man, Chase had to work hard. Their 9 saves, again, is probably the record I've seen for any single player in a game. And just shows the amount of work that they had to do. Yopego was relentless. And in a second game, maybe that's all Yopego needs to keep doing. Put on that pressure. Be aware to... Maybe you don't want all 14 shots there. Maybe you want 12 shots, but they just need to be slightly higher precision and not give away those turnaround goals. So... Still very close, like you say. Man, this is closer than I expected, and what a treat for us. And I'm sure you guys in chat are agreeing with us. The winner is, of course, Rocket League, and just going to pinch it out to the other side of the field to start off our second game.
Yeah, nothing too fancy just yet. Chase not with all the control in the world, as Yopego might be able to just drive it home. Should be able to do so. Okay, so first goal in the first 15 seconds.
And again, it came out to Chase just committing it slightly too hard for that, maybe wanting a slightly better touch. Probably trying to turn that around and throw it all the way around to the orange goal, but didn't get the hit that they needed. And so Chase goes 1 goal down, 15 seconds in. So fast, so many goals still to come between these two.
Oh, and yeah, if we see the 40, shots coming out like we did in the previous game, then we're in for a big treat. Okay, clinical saved it from Chase, near post, so nothing too difficult to pull off there. And we want to see Chase in a bit more control now. I think Yopego's definitely put the foot down a bit more in this game too. The ball hasn't left the blue side yet. Chase with a mistake.
Oh no, you can't be making diamond level plays like that against a wonderfully experienced player like Yopego. That's going to be probably the easiest goal from this. That wasn't even an attempt. Had the low boost, so didn't want to go for the air dribble. And Chase, normally so good on these backboards, normally able to defend it towards the other side of the blue net. And Yopego comes up with a 2-goal lead.
What would they say in the Matrix? Not like this. So, yeah, like
it's one of my favorite sayings ever because I say it so often. As soon as I get something wrong, I'm like, not like this. Not like this.
Oh, it's applicable here. I think Chase, he knew he could have done a lot better than, like you said, that's kind of very low C1 plays. But, we know the skill of both his players. They're definitely able to do it. Chase a crossface. And no beans for Yopego, although it does pick up the 100. Can he bring it down from being so close to the crossbar? Doesn't seem like it.
And I like this heads-up play by Chase, just realizing how dangerous the backboard is at this level of play, is that you got to be able to defend that. You cannot let that drop down because you're making it much harder. Yopego, though, doesn't need the backboard, doesn't need the sidewalls. He's just going to be able to flick this up. Again, collecting it so beautifully, and this time goes up and gets that extra touch around Chase. Chase had the first touch covered, but did not expect him to follow through so quickly.
Okay, so up by 3, and of course now we can look at then a game 3 if kind of Chase doesn't bring this back, which would be great. But we're going to see what happens. Of course, 3.5 minutes left. Yopego going up, hits crossbar, gets the flick back already, and Chase not able to beat him past it. That's, again, the speed of this play is ultras. I mean, look at this. The 180s that Yopego can pull off and just get back after kind of losing to score is just so decent. Yeah, and Chase there with an awkward little touch and a pop-up for Yopego.
Yeah, I think Chase has not been able to read Yopego as well in this one. Thought Yopego was going to actually pop it a little bit further back towards the orange goals and follow it up. And Chase just charging up afterwards, trying to keep that space good between the two of them. Nice save comes out. That space was just all in the side of Yopego. He turned it so quickly. He juked, I would say, the first ball. Now Chase has got an opportunity. He picks it up nicely, and we do see again a 4-1 scoreline. This time Chase could be using this as his chance to get back.
Yeah, and just winning the decent 50, then just popping the ball up high to seal in and getting the decent catch. Down by 3, so Chase can definitely bring this back. Hopefully, we're going to find a little bit of a reverse here for him. So we're going to see what happens. But, we can just see, both his players, they get to the kickoff same time, they kill the ball. No one, no one's been faster than the other right now, which is decent. And, Chase needs to just get his head right, make sure that his play is a bit more cleaner, and then Yopego, doesn't really beat him all too often.
And this is another attempt, goes up for this one, tries for it. Now Chase has an open field, does not make a mistake with this one, pushes it slowly, decides to keep the car still, because cool guys don't watch explosions.
Yeah, and there we go. So, if you're able to beat the man, pop it. He didn't have anything left in the tank. It's fine. He just got the nose to it. And, of course, Yopego was quick to get back, but not enough that Chase couldn't put it in that left corner. So, down by 2, and the comeback is real.
2.5 minutes, still half the game left. So, very, very easy. Or very, very possible, I should say, to be able to turn this around. I certainly wouldn't call it easy considering the opponent that he's up against. Could have an opportunity here. It's going to go high and make Yopego do some work. This is popped it far too high. Has to come back for the turnaround save. Doesn't make it, and Chase levels it out to 1 goal within this.
Oh, and just setting him up there with a touch to the backboard. And of course, if you were a second man in a standard game, of course, that would be your goal. So Chase read it, decent read, played it, got his third, and now closing the gap almost very swiftly against Yopego. Now Yopego maybe having to apply a bit more sweat to this game.
Gonna try for the first touch here. Again, Chase is gonna have this one red, gonna push it across the goals. Yopego wasn't able to do that in the previous attempts, and so again coming off the backboard, baits in Yopego. Yopego now a little bit out of position, but the bounce is not fortuitous for Chase, and so gonna give it up possession again. This one's gonna go on the backboard. Now it's up to Yopego to read it. A bad jump from Chase opens up this chance, and Yopego's had enough of Chase scoring.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely had enough. Then just Chase kind of getting up awkwardly. Possibly was looking like he wanted to get nose to ball for a floor pinch, and just Yopego too quickly around the side to get it in. Yeah, so up by 2, and Yopego's been controlling the pace of this game so far. He's been having a decent time, has the 5, he had the early goal, so he's been leading on Chase for quite a while, but of course, we speak about these comebacks. Oh, quick ball. In step by Chase, so not too difficult to get that out. Does he have anything in the tank to read this? Okay, he's got a half a tank, picks up the 100 now, but a backflip to try get there into place ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, Yopego had this from the moment Chase lost it off this wall, and Yopego doing such a nice job with being able to catch the ball like that. It's the first step in being able to set up any dribble and certainly turn around the pace. When someone overcommits like that, you want to do the bare minimum to just get that first touch into where you wanted and beat them out. So Chase not being able to do this. He was 3 goals down. He managed to pull it. He was 4 goals down, in fact. Then he managed to pull it back to 3 goals, and he's pulled it all the way now to still needing 3 goals. This time he's got far less time to work with. In fact, make this the initial goal difference. 4 goals in it, but he's only got 1:15 to try and pull it back.
Oh yeah, and he plays the bounce as well. Decent pop there. Finds the bottom right-hand corner, up by 4. Yes, I mean, there is a minute quarter left, but when you have to score 4 goals and even 5 just to get up, it becomes very difficult to do. I almost want to say that Chase maybe has, it's difficult to come back in this game, and we're going to have to go to the game 3, which is great because we haven't had a game 3 just yet this evening. A long ball from Yopego, slots it in, now up by 5. Deficit growing only wider and wider.
And it definitely seems like Yopego's realized that maybe that over-aggression in the first game was what was costing them. Now being able to temper that so beautifully to be able to maintain the pace of the game and control it exactly as they want. Not afraid to just leave it to drop, rotate on the wall, be able to pull it back down. And Yopego even looking for a little bit more style points, doesn't get a nice enough jump, but gets the demo. This could be the 9th goal as we see it. It is going to be Chase, has to come around, does manage to do the work, but it's going to pop out. And now Chase going to be beaten again. Can he get the angle, the impossible angle? No, Chase buys some time.
Yeah, fantastic place to respawn as Chase could just get that save, and you kind of thought it was guaranteed. Can he get it over 1? Gets a nice aerial. Oh, unfortunate. I mean, he is down by so much. It's just kind of goals coming up from Chase now. It's just going to be kind of, not giving up and trying so well. Yeah, okay. It is tough to watch. Yopego's having a ball game of this, and what you're saying earlier, I think just maybe if you want to underestimate your opponent when it comes to 1, maybe in game 1 Yopego didn't know the Chase was going to be coming out of the gates of firing, and of course now in game number 2 he says to hell with that.
It comes down to how much positive thinking you have towards your ability to score a goal. Oh, this is a beautiful read by him. Absolutely no boost, being able to read that off the wall. If you feel like you can go for it and you can score the goal on your next hit, it doesn't really matter how much boost you got left. But when you can read that your opponent has got you covered, you don't really want to play when you've got 12 boost left, because if it goes wrong, if your opponent is able to get it and they haven't been boost starved, then they're going to have the boost advantage and they may be able to get to the ball a little bit quicker on the turnaround. And so Yopego maybe just now not wanting to go 3 or 4 times for those shots. Maybe this one not going to be, this is the example we talk about, is just when you overextend, it gives that opportunity, but it has given very few of those opportunities to Chase this time. So Yopego with 3 seconds left, going to be. I'm pretty sure this is safe to say that this is Yopego's game, right?
Yeah, definitely Yopego's game. So head into a game 3. Of course, we're going to see what happens. I think Chase definitely having to kind of get himself right again and just make sure that he can beat Yopego. We know how quick Yopego is. We spoke about it in the pregame. He's flaunting that now. There we go. So they're the kickoffs we spoke about. Not necessarily a kickoff goal, but a decent rebound, and he found the man in the center of the field again. So, 11 goals. I'm not sure what your guys' record is, and of course, Midlife Gaming Crisis will have to be able to pull up those stats for us, but
I can tell you 11, right now.
Okay.
15 goals in a game. was the
Okay,
record. Previously, though, that was a 7-8 game. So very, very tightly fought there. This time, much more dominant towards one side. Yopego being able to equal that goal scoring record, but basically on his own.
Yeah. Oh, 11-4. I hope when I play ones, it doesn't look like this. I can tell you that much. This is, I would feel like it's heartbreaking because you have to go into a game 3 now and you have to keep your head up high because, of course, Chase can win the series.
Yeah.
But, when you get crushed like this, it is tough. 20 shots, right,
Whew.
on the side of your Pego, right? So that 50%, oh, mercy me.
And still Chase having to come out with 9 saves. Same
Yeah.
as the first game, being able to put on a decent defense. But when there's 20 shots, you can put as many saves as you want under your belt. You're just not going to be able to get all of them. And so, again, the relentless pace comes out from Yopego. And the fact that Yopego, when we talk about pace, we're not talking about, you're holding down your trigger button, your accelerator button the entire time and dumping your boost tank and just spinning round and round in circles. It's the fact that he's able to time that pace to do a counterattack, be able to slow down, get a soft touch, pick it up, and then get a flick and follow it up so quickly, or be able to turn that 180 that you're talking about and be able to then put on the pressure straight away when your opponent's not expecting it.
Oh, yes, no, for sure. And we're going to see, it's going to come down to this game. And, the next 5 minutes is going to be separate who can go through and who's going to be obviously sent home packing. And a really early bump coming out from Chase.
Nice attempt so far, but again, skin in your teeth sort of stuff as the two of them are millimeters away from it. And now Yopego's dived quite far. He's going to have to get back very quickly. Chase messes it up, doesn't end up putting this in, and this could be heartbreaking. If this goes to one game, that could be the difference maker. As it's in fact going to go all the way down to the other side. A 1 goal for Chase, an almost guaranteed goal, ends up going into his own net, and Yopego are going to be drawing the first blood.
Drawing the first blood, and then Chase had to scramble to get back, and he couldn't, and that ball just rolled in. A nice casual 70. So nothing too crazy on the side of Yopego, but nothing crazy is needed. So up by 1. We're going to see what happens. You see, what he's been doing, Altruism, is always picking up these kind of middle boosts. He's never kind of hungry, has 100 most of the time. And, that's kind of just shows his ability to control field, and, yeah, beats Chase, pops it in again.
We talked about the fact that Chase was so good on the backboard, realizing how dangerous that was. So Yopego goes, all right, you're able to reach 90% of the backboard. I'm going to put it in the most top section that there's no way you're going to be able to get to, and then read it as it comes back. And when you can get that angle and get that touch, no! Yopego gets it. Chase, what was that?
Okay, we finally get to see a kickoff goal. I think first one of this evening in 2 series. So, finally, kind of my thirst has been quenched.
Yeah, Chase even in chat going faking lol, realizing that was definitely not the way. And again, it's straight up to a 3-goal lead for Yopego. Yopego, are you just going to carry on with this domination here? Certainly not the same Chase that we saw in the first round, and not out yet. Still showing this life. Wants to get out underneath this ball to try and get a flip reset. Not able to do it yet, and Yopego going to shove it down and open up another opportunity here.
Yeah, having a fun time. Up by 3, and what is a series match point, is quite a nice way to go about it. Can Chase get it over 1? Should be able to. Can he beat the man? Oh, too quick is Yopego. Able to get that back. Another quick counter attack. Look at this, picks up the 100. Can he get it round from the side? Should be easy. Yeah, so much time. My goodness, right?
Chase went for that, and again, I think it's that mentality coming out now of going, I'm under pressure, I need to start making things happen. You still got 3.5 minutes left. There's plenty of time to get 3 goals towards yourself, but every time you give away a play like that with a slightly too aggressive play, you got to choose your moments, because it's just going to get worse and worse and worse and more difficult to get into this.
Yeah, and as the deficit grows, of course, coming back is so difficult, like you said now. And of course, when your opponent is so difficult to play against as well, it is equally tough. There steals the 100, so Chase not even, has a half tank. Can he get the flip now? Over? Oh.
And again, that's a difference in mechanical skill there. Chase had the opportunity, but the flick needed to be perfect. He had the one chance, and still kudos to Chase for the amount of defensive play that's coming out now, and again has to get around this one. Does manage to finally make it work. So a mirror of the last game, but we saw how that last game ended. Could this be the one and only goal, or the too little too late goal? Still 3 minutes. Let's hope for, I think, a more close ending than our previous one.
Oh, well, I mean, I think, Chase has got a lot of time left, so we can definitely do so. Only down by 3, scoring goal. Like you said, if you can be a little more decisive in your flick and just make sure that's on point and not maybe hold back or reserve time and wait for your opponent to get back in a decent or more decent defensive position, then yeah, I definitely foresee it. Oh, no, he was there, picked it up.
Yeah, Yopego did have the flip reset there, so an opportunity. Chase, though, going to be able to pick it up nicely off the wall, and this is the counter-attack. We talk about Yopego being a little bit too close for comfort, and Chase manages to pop it off the wall over him, and Yopego very quick at rotating, but not quick enough this time.
Yeah, you have it sometimes, you don't have it sometimes. They're usually very quick, but, I think in ones, if you kind of get caught just a little wanting, then you can get beaten. Of course, that's what Chase did. So making the slow climb and come back, and definitely has everything in him to be able to beat Yopego, though, but beaten in the air, just with that aerial control, plays it across the whole width of the field practically.
I mean, he went up quickly for that as well. It was quite a vertical play at the beginning, and normally you want it with a little bit more momentum towards your opponent goal. Obviously not too much, but the worst part, I think, that for Chase is the fact that he was the one who hit it in. He was going for the save and had a good opportunity and read it so well, but Yopega's extra little touch puts it in, and there we go. Again, just being able to pull it exactly on the line he wants as he carves his way through the air and carves himself one step closer towards that semifinals.
Yeah, and it depended on how demos goes, and of course, if he can take down Casper, then you end up kind of facing your teammate, and that might be a very tough game in itself.
Again, just Yopego keeping the ball exactly where he wants, just out of reach of his opponent. Goes for the 50 dunk onto that to try to get into the back of the net. He's going to have to rotate with no boost, going to be able to pick up the center one. And this is where Chase has played well in the past, is that turnaround on that sidewall. But now Yopego going to be going up for this. Again, we're going to be seeing the air dribble styles. Chase going to be trying for it in the wall, and he goes for the double backboard read after the aerial play. Chase had no way to get that. He tried his most to try and cover that angle, but Yopego has his number at every turn, and again, almost to Brazil.
Yeah, and like you said, he's kind of putting it as high as can be. He's playing that 99th spot there, just to, kind of below the crossbar. And of course, Chase, you just can't get a body in there, sadly so.
This time Yopego fakes out the jump, instead stays low. Chase facing backwards. Now there's a little bit of a bump, so it's going to drop down into the center. No opportunity for Chase to turn this around. Instead, going to give away the possession straight away to Yopego. Chase wants to try and chase this down the field, but not really where he wants to be. Going to go up for this one. Not a hard enough shot. And again, it comes down to those, that minuscule little difference in touch between being able to get a good shot in and the unreachable shot by opponent. Chase gets a fingertip to this one to save it. But the difference between a perfect shot and a really good shot is that your opponent can get to it.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Now we're going to see a big pinch coming out from Yopego. And he slammed that one. It was so decent. What a beautiful pinch there. A lot more speed coming out from that one. Over 100. Oh.
I feel like we need a bingo card at this stage. Whenever, like, with all the different variations and goals that you can see out from a player. Floor pinch, check. We got the aerial dribble, check. We got the backboard dribble, backboard read, yeah, check. We just need the flip reset, and I've got bingo in this game. I'm just warning you. So, so far, Yopego doing very well. Lots of respect coming out, though. Yopego doing well to just congratulate his opponent and just be like, you've improved a lot. And that's what we like to see in the South African Rocket League scene, is everyone here trying their best to get better. And so Chase definitely impressing his opponents despite the scoreline.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really good. He's played so well off the backboard. Chase has been phenomenal on the saves. He's done so much work, even off the respawn when you kind of caught one, and only with that 30 boost, he was able to get saves off Yopego. So he's definitely played well. Oh, Yopego almost trying the second floor pinch there again. But, sometimes they say the match never reflects the scoreline. And, Chase has definitely been playing well. And, of course, as the clock counts down and he tries one last flick over, it ain't going to happen. Let's see if Yopego can keep the ball alive. No, it should be able to fall down and die. Oh, close.
GG to both of these players. Yopego was the favorite coming into this and doesn't disappoint, managing to come through. But Chase taking that one game off them means that Yopego has been tested and certainly has come out and maybe a little bit more aware of the lacking or at least the parts of their game that was lacking. But very, very good camaraderie between these two players. Great spirit for the tournament that we've got going on. And Yopego is going to be going through to that second round. I think Yopego versus To Die For going to be an incredibly close game. Wow, when it comes to these two players and their ability to control it on the ground and in the air, I don't know if there is going to be a definite victor for that. It's going to be interesting to see. Of course, we do have that game coming up quickly after this break, and then after that, we're going to be going through to our second semi-finals. The two players we haven't seen so far, Demos versus WeCasper, fighting it out for that final slot. We got 4 great players left in this tournament, and I'm sure you will appreciate the level of Rocket League that we've seen so far. It's only going to have to ramp up as we go closer and closer to that finals to win that prize. If you guys are unaware, there is 1,200 credits up for the victor, 500 credits for our second place, and 300 credits for our third place. So all of these players in the running now to get some cash. Only one of these players not going to be able to get some score at the end of this day, and we'll find out who that is after this break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Twisted Minds 1v1 tournament. We are through to the semi-finals here. We've just seen some great first games there. Yopego taking the second game, the previous game that we just watched, taking out Chase. Chase putting up a good show in the first round, managing to take that first game, but not able to come through in the second and third games. Of course, we saw To Die For as well, taking out Daisy in our first game of the day. That was quite a one-sided affair with a 2-0 sweep. So those two have gone through to our first semifinals. We're going to be covering our second semifinals first. That is going to be Demos versus WeCasper. We haven't gotten to see either of these players today on stream, but of course we have seen a lot of them so far. At least I have. I'm Altruism, and joining me is Muzz. How are you doing for this?
Yeah, fantastic. And what a phenomenal Altruism, of course, pushing to game 3. And Yopego definitely picking up the pace when it comes to games 2 and game 3. Of course, Chase taking that first one. And then, of course, just completely went Yopego's way, opened up the so-called sluice gates and just putting goal after goal at the end there. What did we get to see? 11, I think it was.
Yeah.
He had such a good game 3. And, of course, now on to, like you said, the semifinals. WeCasper taking on Demos. Demos, more of an enigma. I don't really know this player. And so hopefully I'm going to be pleasantly surprised.
You know, that's the thing about a ones tournament is there are a lot of people who are just solo queuing and getting their own skills up very quietly in the background. Yeah, WeCasper, we've seen a lot from in the actual scene. You know, TSG, he's one of their top players there. And so we've seen him a lot in normal threes tournaments or even twos tournaments. Not a lot of ones tournaments being held, which is why we haven't gotten to see that, but it has a very big reputation here coming into this tournament and looking to defend that. So we might see Demos, maybe one of those dark horse players who is actually like one of the top players in South Africa, but no one's heard of. It still has a lot of work to do, so it's going to be interesting to see what sort of fight they can put up against WeCasper. And like we said earlier, everyone has weaknesses, everyone makes mistakes. Can they capitalize on them, and can they create some opportunities of their own? Or is it going to be a one-sided WeCasper show? What do you think?
We're going to have to see. Is it a little more kind of easier to predict like the previous game? You know, do we all kind of just say WeCasper in this game? Maybe not so much because we don't know Demos. So now, is he like a super cracked player who just keeps his head down, he's quiet, we don't see him in the six-man scenes or nothing like that? Then it's going to be tougher to call. So maybe a 2-1 to Casper just because I don't know Demos, but that could easily swing towards Demos' side as well. But I mean, WeCasper, a lot of practice, a lot of training next to Yopego, definitely been taken under the wing, and so we're going to find definitely a more mature and a much better Casper than what the scene knows from 2 years ago, whether this was LAN and, you know, the old kind of teams he has played on before. Definitely a much better, more well-rounded player. So, Demos with a tough game ahead of him, but hopefully Casper a tough game ahead of him as well.
It should be interesting to see both of those. Casper has a proven record. I think he's got up to SSL, or is it just GC that his current rank for ones is?
I'm not sure about ones. One's been tough, but maybe in threes or twos I could have obviously grinded. Not certain there, but definitely he's been sitting in GC now for quite a while. Definitely the last 8-9 months for sure. So well earned. And of course, we know we did get the extra medal coming out from Onyx. What's it called? Wide, super wide, or fat wide, or something. It's got a weird nickname. Wide Legend or some odd thing like that.
Interesting. I haven't actually seen that one, but Wide Legend would be a title I would run if I had to, or if I could, if I had gotten to that stage. Supersonic Lightning. Just all of these great names for it. Just big shout outs for the people who brought you this tournament. This is, of course, the Twisted Minds 1v1, but it is brought to you with the support of MLGC. Guys, go give them some love on Twitter, give them some love on all the socials, check out their stuff. They've been great for building the South African Rocket League scene this year. And of course, the S-Falcon, the guy bringing you the production value that you are seeing here today. Really big shout out to the people who make it possible and give us these prize pools. So getting into this game, WeCasper versus we've got, sorry, I've completely lost the other
Demos.
player. Demos, there we go. His in chat is his name is just Blocks. So if you guys don't know what his name is, if you can't see it, he's on orange on this side. It is Demos, and I'm not sure why we've gone into that, but we are going into our first game here. It is a best of 3, and Casper straight off the kickoff gets a really nice touch. Going to be going for the boost and slotting it in. No, Demos with a good save. So already we're seeing a fight between these two.
Yeah, it's going to start early. Mr. Block. Taking the shot, then, of course, kept up by Casper, and now decent play. Back into the orange half. Can Casper get the shot over? It should be wide. Okay, so both players just going to suss it out and see how it's going to... Does Demos have a lot in the tank? He does. Didn't manage to beat one there. Oh, and the fight coming up from both these teams, the Ultrism, is going to definitely be fierce, and I think the pace as well is here for both of these players as well. Oh, a crossbar!
Ah, man, that lit up ball like that is always something to be seen. A great pinch comes out here from Demos. He's going to be looking to make another attempt at this. Casper going to be able to shove it across the field, and Demos going to have to just go back for a little bit of boost. And so both of them very keen to give the other person some space and just make sure that when they do go for a challenge, that they are making the best attempt of it as possible. Now, again, Demos going to be looking forward to this. Casper just shadowing backwards, and so a little bit of a cut outwards means that he's able to pick it up onto his car. Baits out the jump from Casper, so tries to turn it around, and nice psychological play coming out from these two.
Yeah, didn't get the second flick there from Demos as it came around, and as getting beaten by one by Casper. Should be easy to roll in. Roll in it does. And yeah, first goal coming a lot slower in previously seen your Ultrism, quite almost like halfway through.
That was really nice by the two of them. Casper, of course, having moved across from TSG now to MLGC, rebranding there for him. And this one's also going to go that way. Like you say, a much slower pace to that first goal means that the bumps, the aggression coming out here. Casper is going to make something happen for this. In fact, Demos being able to come through did overshoot it in the beginning there, but still the psychological plays, the tricks, the bumps, the next level outthinkings coming out here. And so far, it hasn't been Demos being caught off guard just yet, besides that one goal.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. Okay, yeah.
Never mind.
Saves the chip until the end, beats the defender and gets it over the head. So nice clinical player coming up from Casper. Of course, Demos getting almost caught on the back as he doesn't have himself facing your attack, and that's kind of difficult when you can't really see what's happening and when you do stuff like that. So making it tough on himself, Demos. But yeah, Casper up by 2. Decent play from coming up from both his teams, or both his players at least. Slower game 1. No one really been too pacey like in our previous series we got to witness. Very fast, and of course, there we go. Casper sending all the way downfield.
This is the first real attacking opportunity for Demos. Tries to get a nice flick into the upper corner, but underestimates Casper's reach on that defense. Casper being able to push it to the side and then turn around and follow it as Demos was caught in the net. So again, those turnaround plays so pivotal in this, and it comes down to, are you going to make those attacks count when you get them? Oh, this could be an attempt though. No, it takes too long.
Yeah, wide as well, sadly. Went down the line instead of just shooting it. And now, can he get the jump? Oh, okay, doesn't go. Gets the fake, picks up the corner boost instead though. Is he going to be able to draw out Demos? Just trying to cheekily play with him a bit.
Now the aerial dribble is going to come through. Going to try and drag it down. A nice save comes out. Demo so far still being able to match most of this. And the Demo right in front of the blue goal means it's going to roll around. And it is going to be Casper spawning on the wrong side. Comes up just behind the ball. And so Demos is able to at least get 1 on the scoreboard. And still has some time to bring it back.
Yeah, and yeah, respawn on that right-hand side of goal. Unfortunate. I think, it would have been the same result as well. He was just able to sneak it in. Demos, so gets himself onto that scoreboard. Oh, is this kickoff 1 here by Casper? Just has to get the bounce over. Can he? Yeah, too soft and not too deliberate enough.
Yeah, if he had a bit of boost there to play with, he would have been able to do a slightly better job. Takes it across his own goals, and a nice bit of defending coming out. He's going to try for the aerial play. Instead looks for it on the ground. Still not baiting in the defender. Has lost sight of him a little bit, and Demo's coming out a little bit lucky there as Casper overshoots it on his jump. Casper still going to be keeping control of the ball and still loving these little pops over his opponent, but this time goes too far and takes it off his roof. Now it's going to have to be a rotation.
Yeah, now Casper in that... Oh, okay, doesn't take the shot even though he's in the... Wants to bring it around, wants to get the 100 first, and then just... He's just making Demos move around so much. He's just playing the whole width of the field side to side. Is it going to be a long ball? Can it dip? Aye, Demos. Beautiful dip there.
And this was good heads-up play coming out from Demos. They actually went back for the boost, but realizes he's got the opportunity and was able to fight out Casper, who took it back and forth across that orange goal, looking for an opportunity. And still, Demos very patient on that. Didn't overcommit at any stage. Didn't put himself out of position. And so Casper has lost his 3-goal lead. He's down to just a single goal in this, and still hasn't managed to really chink the armor in a couple of minutes. For Demos. Now he's going to try again. He's got it up on the wall, not wanting to take any aerial dribbles, instead prefers the power shot, and is going to be able to collect it again, now starting with the boost staff. But Demos over the top of him. It's going to be Casper rolling around to try to get back to this, and still Demos now with an opportunity to start building some pressure. Has to chip this over. Casper not doing anything fancy just yet to be able to make some plays happen, but very content to just keep the pace on his side, keep the possession, and do some work when needs to.
Yeah, just hold the ball, running all the way back. Nothing wrong with that. You're only down by 1. Is half a minute left to play. Can he get the flick over? Nah, decent save by Casper. At second attempt. Oh, no.
That was great play by Casper. He was actually stuck in the wrong position there. He very nearly gave that away. And I think if it had come in a little bit harder, then it would have been a great attempt. And so far the shots just not crisp enough from Demos to be able to get that 3rd goal as they count into the last 10 seconds.
Yeah, if Demos could be a little bit more assertive and just kind of slot it home, and like you said, this might just be... Oh, it's going to be crossbar. That's so unfortunate. Oof. Yeah, right. That's kind of the feels bad, as the kids would say, altruism. So doesn't get the flick, hits the crossbar, and of course only really 2 seconds kind of to make a play. And of course, as soon as that ball was grounded, you know, that was game 1.
And both of them coming out with the same number of saves, very close goal score line, and the extra couple of shots by Casper, just fending out a couple of times, feeling it out, just trying to make that space. And all of Demo's shots that came in looked a little bit weak there, not being able to get onto the back, not being able to get the flicks that he always wanted and put that real pressure. Did get some pressure onto Casper, making Casper do some work, including some really impressive saves that came out from Casper. But that's what you're expecting when you're going against a very high-level player like this. Is a good shot is not necessarily good enough. You have to be able to get a great shot. We talked about it previously. And so far, Casper being able to just eke ahead in this first game. A lot of feeling each other out, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The slow start to kind of see how you can play. You don't actually have to be too pacey or fancy. You know, get nice clinical goals. Make sure they're insecure versus, you know, doing something odd. You know, we saw that real nice flick from our first series matchup. You don't really need none of that stuff. And let's see, Demo's only down by 1, beaten by 1, so definitely let's see what he can pull out of the hat here in game 2. Is a must win, of course, for Demos. So gonna see if we can force that game 3.
Like you say, that pressure instantly mounts up when you lose that first game. It makes a big difference. Demo's off to a good start here. He's going to be able to roll it around. Not going to be rolling very hard, so he's going to have to beat Casper again. Not able to do it this time, though. Does pick up the boost, and this could be the attempt. Casper again has to rotate around. The Demo comes out, and so Demos has some time to get towards the center. Not enough, though. Flicks it up, and Casper being able to get that off the spawn. Still, Demo's hanging around, wanting to put in some pressure. Gets an awkward bounce up, and that could be putting Casper out of position. Casper going to be able to rotate back for this one. Demo's again just playing it, and that bump could make the difference. Has to come around and gets a nice bump onto Casper to try shut this down, and does stop that counter-attack opportunity. So as we close out the first minute, both of them making attempts, but nothing finding the back of the net yet. And the flick, the roll over the top of the goal, Casper's got this.
Yeah, decent attempt there coming up from Demos. Had a crack at it, kept out by Casper. Easily enough, a beautiful save here from Demos as well, pushing that ball wide. And so goalless so far, and we're going to see to crack the defense first. Yeah, both these guys playing exceptionally well. Good rebound there from Demos. Can he push it all the way? Maybe just? Yeah, beautiful.
Lovely shot there to get that pinch at the end there. And it came off this bounce and that quick turnaround. WeCasper dedicated a little bit too far into that corner. And so Demo is actually going to take the lead here. This is what he would have wanted considering the momentum was on the side of WeCasper. That first game is just a game. It's a game that's previous and it doesn't have any effect on this scoreline. And so Demos has the opportunity now to level up the scoreline.
Yeah, and up by 1. Demo's leading now for the first time. Can he hold it? Casper with the goal. Yeah, okay. Didn't hold that lead for too long.
And just an interesting challenge coming out there, just reading it slightly badly off the corner, managing to pop it out towards the center instead of getting the pinch that he would have wanted to roll it around. Because that pinch could have been a really good opportunity for him. If that had pinched towards the blue goals, then it could have rolled around really nicely. Demo's got a good chance here for the kickoff goal. Does put it in, power shot. That's the clean sort of shots that you need to be making to secure a goal. And it does get his goal lead right back.
Yeah, it's nice when you win the kickoff like that. You beat the 50 and you can just put it into the back there. So, yeah, Demo back in the lead. Oh, Demo's back in the lead. So, we're going to see if we're going to get that game 3. Of course, 3.5 minutes left, so much time. 14 or 16 shots and goals from the previous series? Probably not. Both these guys a little bit slower, but more kind of assertive in what they want to do and how their decision processes get made. So, don't think it's going to be too much of a crazy game, but it will be good Rocket League nonetheless.
That collision throwing both of them off that 50-50 down towards the other side. Demos has missed his boost, and he's committed to this rotation. I think Casper's seen it. Casper gets the bump. Casper gets the shot. He rears it off that upright and puts it into the back of the line. So we're back up to a level series.
Cheeky bump there at the end as well. Oh, it just sneaks it in. Almost went wide on the post, but enough nose on it from Casper there to get it in.
And that bump, I don't know how calculated that bump was, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it was calculated or not. Casper doing a good job to go around for that boost. Takes a shot and forces out the boost. Oh, the Demo comes out as well. So WeCasper got a couple of seconds, doesn't get the best touch that he would have wanted. The spawn is on the other side. It's popped over and the Demo goes the other way now. It's going to be up to Demo, otherwise known as Blocks, for this game. Gonna go for the Cooksy punch. Does actually get it over WeCasper. WeCasper gonna have to rotate it around.
Oh.
Doesn't get there. What an incredible play.
Yeah, beautiful play there. Decent pitch coming off the sidewall from Demos all the way down there. Casper not able to get home in time. Gets nose to ball though, but not enough that momentum just driving in and keeping Demos here in the lead. Nice back and forth play here between both these players. Demos in the lead, Casper in the lead, back to Demos. And game 2, kind of anyone's ball game at this moment. And decent save they're coming up from Demos as well, even though he got a Demo on himself. How ironic.
I like the tactical play coming out from these guys, because that's what it has been. It hasn't been the mechanical showcase that we saw in some of the previous games. Neither one relying on amazing flicks or anything like that to get it. Instead, just timing good aggressive plays. And WeCasper again goes for the Demo on this time. Is left without a lot of boost, and now he's committed too hard. Can Demos get this around? He gets the flick. It's going to be very high. Is he going to be there for the second read? It's also going to be very high. Is he going to go for the third attempt? No, decides to go back. And so WeCasper not able to get to that, but doesn't need to at the end of the day. And an interesting commits, Demos.
He was able to come down out of his goalpost though. He wasn't boxed. He was able to get down, keep Casper out, and yeah, that's fine because it did look like Casper was able to score there, but Demos keeping him out there, playing in this blue half though, beaten by Casper. Yeah, Demos just needs to be able to put a bit more pressure moving forward, be more decisive, and actually just get ball going forward. I don't know, just sometimes Casper's in your face before you're able to really do much about it.
And that's the power of being able to shadow like this. A great power shot comes there. WeCasper rotates into the corner to pick up that boost, and Demos gets that timed play perfectly. Actually gets a slight bump there and picks it up very, very nicely. Gets a great angle on this and actually takes the 2-goal lead with just over a minute left.
Yeah, but exactly with that being said though, there we go. Demo picking up the next goal and doing so well to do so from that right-hand side though. So yeah, Casper down by 2. What can he do? Well, he can do this. He can get a cheeky chip over.
And you can see there, Demos had one opportunity, rotates back into the net, rotates the wrong way around, and Casper picks it up really nicely to get that pop over. Demos a little bit more happy to commit to these tackles just in front of his own net. They've worked out most of the time, but when you got someone who can pop it like WeCasper can, okay. we seem to have a little bit of a disconnect or something like that, and that's very unfortunate to give away that last goal that he needed to level up the series.
Yeah, and funny enough, what does that tell you guys off air about the program when there's also a DC and we can't pause games, right? And now we don't know if Demos is with us or not.
Psyonix, please introduce this. And
Okay.
again, we did see Demos moving the car slightly at the end of that last point, and here again, but he is here. He's definitely making movements, but that's 2 goals for free, and this is on his last legs.
Yeah, not too sure. I don't know if Demos might not have been there in those two goals. Yeah, Casper just doing the right thing right now, not knowing if his opponent is in the game. Okay. PC freezing coming up from Demos. So there we go. Yeah, that's kind of a Psyonix thing to work on Ultrism. We've seen it now in the Pro League. A lot of kind of controversy around it. Can you pause? Should a coach be allowed in the lobby? Can then coaches at least type quickly to admin? We need to maybe start putting these things into rule books. What needs to officially be done in these types of situations.
Unfortunately, in this game, it's going to be too little too late. I personally like the idea of the pause button. Almost every other esports has it, just for these sort of opportunities, because with a 1-goal advantage for Demos, Casper's able to put in 2, and as the clock ticks down, we got 17 seconds left. It doesn't look like Demos is going to be able to fix his PC issues in time, and so Casper giving us a little bit of a skill show here as we go into the last little bit. It's going to be interesting. Not looking to put it back in towards his own net. Instead, just going to try to finish this off with a little bit of a flip reset. And it seems like Demo's going to be dropping out of this game. It obviously not going to be able to play the rest of the tournament with a freezing PC. But it looks like Casper are going to be able to take this, and a little bit of a letdown at the end of our second semi-finals. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So we're
no,
just
it's
going to
bad
find out
there.
what's going on there. Unfortunately, Demos, I assume that we are going to just accept the scoreline. Just waiting to get some word from our producers as what's going to happen here. Finding out what's happening from Demos, whether there is a chance of being able to come back into this game. Otherwise, Casper has just secured probably the easiest way into the finals. Obviously won that first game fair and square, but the second game was a much, much closer competition.
Yeah, definitely much closer. Than unfortunately, with the double freeze there at the kickoff, Casper got the 2 easy goals. Whether moving forward, and as these titles evolve and you get kind of strict rules and things that are more kind of decisive, is something like that going to be allowed? Would you have to play the game over again, type of stuff? So we're going to have to see what the ruling is here. Might go into the next game possibly. Like you said, the easiest kind of walk into the final. So definitely Casper. Whether you chuffed with that or not, I'm not sure. Kind of, how competitive these players can be. So I don't think that's kind of the way you want to do it. So
the normal rulings for this sort of situation is that you can only really restart the match if there's no goal scored and it is still in the first minute of the game. And so it's typically in these sort of situations, this is not going to be rehosted, unfortunately, and we have had trouble getting back in contact now with poor Demos. Demos just unfortunately may take this one. In fact, it is going to be the game is going to be declared going the way of Casper. So Casper has got their ticket through to the finals. An unfortunate little mishap coming through here. We might try and host a game 3 just to see if there was an opportunity for him to come back. Guys, we're going to go to a quick 5-minute break while we try and sort this out. Please don't go anywhere. You definitely want to carry on. Even if we don't go through to a third game, even if poor Demo's not going to be able to come back and try and stay alive in this competition, we are still going to be hosting our first semi-finals. Of course, those were the players that we saw earlier, To Die For and Yopego. Going to be taking that on to see who's going to come through to that finals, and then the finals later on this evening. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with our Twisted Minds 1v1 tournament. A little bit of confusion at the end of that last game as poor Demo's PC started freezing. He's not going to be coming back, unfortunately, to try and take out Wee Casper. It was a very close game, that second game. And so Wee Casper going to be moving through to the finals with an official score of 2-0. Very sad way for Demos to end. I really hope to see more of Demos in the future. Of course, this is one of our smaller tournaments, guys, but a very well supported one. Thanks to everyone who's managed to come through so far. We're going to be going through to our second semi-finals now. The two players that we saw qualifying earlier, To Die For and Yopego. And joining me for this amazing cast is Muzz.
Yes. So now the big one, Ultra To Die For, obviously having a phenomenal first series there against Daisy, played so well, and of course we did see Yopego playing equally as well against Chase. So now when it goes kind of juggernaut to juggernaut, yeah, tougher series on our hand. Semi-final, of course, we know semi-final should be tough to begin with. So yeah, what are your thoughts?
I think what really struck me about both of them in that first round was the amazing amount of car control on the ground, the fact that they were able to get such beautiful flicks consistently, the fact that they had such a wide arsenal of techniques that they could bring forward. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see how those two go against each other. Maybe they're going to realize that and put a little bit more pressure on your opponent so that they don't get the space to be able to get those flicks that they needed to. Maybe it ends up overcommitting or something like that. Maybe there's still tricks that from both of these players that we haven't seen yet. But I think it's going to come down a lot to how well they're able to shadow and defend against someone who has all the tools that they need if they are given the space.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, just kind of the less mistakes you make, the better you're going to be able to do. And just, is it going to come down to the aerial plays that can both get in the air? Is it going to be flicks? I don't think people are going to be caught wanting with the kind of drawing you out. So the shadowing is going to be important. Maybe more bumps and demos, possibly. I mean, the pace is obviously going to be how we know that for sure. We've seen how Yopego can move To Die For as well, flick after flick onto Daisy. So it's, I don't know what it comes down to when you're both this good. Maybe just the least amount of mistakes you can make, possibly.
I think Yopego, the fact that he was able to turn, caught a lot of people by surprise, including, of course, Chase in that first game. That quick turnaround, the quick being able to control the ball faster than you expect, means that To Die For may be a little bit overconfident in how much time they have on the ball to get that dribble set up and, try and build up to something like that. And so you might find, especially the first game, To Die For just slows it down too much, gets caught out of position and gives away 1 or 2 goals and goes, hang on, I need to actually rethink how I'm going to approach any of these things. Might end up going back and forth across the goals. Of course, we saw Yopego doing that and being relentless in it against Chase, just putting in 20 shots in a single game. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was flipping ridiculous. Now, 20 shots for 11 goals. I mean, he was like the hunting dog just up there in the front. Also, the boost management coming up from Yopego was so good. Grabbed those center boosts as well, picked up the 100 a lot of the time. So, To Die For, maybe having to watch out for something like that. Make sure you don't get starved. Don't get kind of caught with no beans in the tank, and then you'll be able to do well. And just, the flicks that he pulled off on Daisy, maybe not too many flicks coming against Yopego. I think Yopego's going to be able to get decent reads. As we saw, there are a lot of decent kind of backboard plays. So, as we head into our lobby, definitely I want to see game 3. Definitely no one wants to whitewash, and I think both of these players definitely aren't. They shouldn't be a whitewash. And let's see what happens. I think it's definitely gonna be a tough game to play. To Die For, if you can just kind of keep the composure. We know Yopego's decent. Definitely plays in kind of that S tier type of Rocket League. And then I think we're gonna have a good series on our hands.
I think if we're ever going to go to an overtime, it would be between these two. I mean, we saw Wee Casper versus Demos was actually quite a low-scoring game where they were feeling each other out, whereas both of these guys were not afraid to put double digits on the scoreboard. And so the number of goals that we should be able to see coming out from these two, if they're left uncontested, it might be a case of both of these guys slightly worse on defense or prefer to just be a little bit more aggressive and take the fight to their opponent. Means we could go back and forth dunking on each other. We are going into our first game here of our semi-finals. It is, of course, a best of 3, and it's going to be very interesting to see who takes off that early aggression. It's going to bounce towards the orange goal, and To Die For going to try and defend this out. It's going to do enough, but drops down quite dangerously in the beginning. And again, we see Yopego on this aggressive play. Tadafo not able to pick it up. Oh, doesn't need to. It's going to roll around and trickle into the back of the net.
Yeah, and there we go. So already to die for picking up that first goal, just able to get past Josh on the weak side. He turned in, and then of course to die for snuck around him. So decent play there coming out from him. Those nice mind games that you mentioned in the previous series. And there we go. So, you know, this is Yopego as you started the previous first game. You know, he didn't win it, and maybe he wants to kind of just feel out his opponents and see how it goes. But I think feeling out to die for, it's a little bit tougher because we know how good he is. Attempted flick there and, you know, kept out. This is to die for's playbook. He brings out all the flicks, so.
And now that little bit of a bump could open up an opportunity for Yopego. Just pushes it a little bit wide there. And so again, both of them looking to do some counter-attack plays. And we are going to see Tadafo actually faking this out. A really nice little upside down pump there. Means that he's able to get back to the ground a little bit faster. Steals the boost. Yopego left pretty low here and has ball control, but does not have a lot of space to work with. Tadafo, in fact, does eventually just wait for him to throw it up. And so Yopego now going to have to go on the defensive. Has to go on the defensive quickly, though, to make that save.
Yeah, and able to make quite not an easy save there, but is able to get a crossface. It is, you know, relatively not bad to do. You know, keeping out the flick there up to Tadafo. So quick pace coming out from both these players. You know, there Yopego picking up that 100 as we know. Oh, beats the man. Oh, okay.
Tadafo just didn't read this properly off the corner here.
Yeah.
Looked, he kind of like hesitated for it. He was almost going to go for the pinch, but didn't know how close Yopego was. And then Yopego slowed down. So then he committed to it and then misjudged it completely. I think that variation in pace from Yopego that we talked about earlier was able to do a lot. Tadafo has a good opportunity here. Going to put it nice and high on the left-hand side. Yopego makes the save, but Tadafo now going to be pulling up this pressure. Just goes for this straight away. Yopego going to try push towards the center. Doesn't have a lot of boost to fight this out. And so still going to be contesting it, but won't have the boost to come around. And so Tadafo just going to be setting it into his own corner now and putting on the offensive. 1 goal apiece in a very even contest as a reflection.
Yeah, no, very even. Even. Yeah, it's a good evening as well. And to die for, they're trying to take a crack on, but I mean, Yopega's always back defensively. Fast rotations coming out from him. Tries to cut in, takes a shot there, but to die for gets it on him. Can he get it in? Should be able to beat the man. He does so.
And again, Yopego just being a little bit out of position, not enough boost. Tries for the flicker. But Tadafo slows it down and waits for Yopego to dive across him and then takes a shot. Nice control of that to be able to put it in when he wants to put it in, not when he needs to. And a good way to set up a 1-goal lead.
Yeah, and sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit there. I mean, Yopego knows he was going to try cut across the man, get that roll over to beat him. And of course, it didn't materialize in it. And he picks up that equalizer. Of course, you know, to die for was nowhere to be seen, playing on the side of the field. So actually couldn't beat him there.
Both of these players so painfully precise when it comes to that center field. They're able to just, once they get one touch, they can use that touch to set up a slight bounce or something like that to be able to get on the back of the car. In this case, Yopego going up for the flick straight away. Tadafo has to make an important save. Does very well at it. Manages to not just push it to the side, but pick up the boost at the same time. Yopego again going to be the one without boost. Has to try and make a backward save. Does it very well for this. Tadafo just pushing it a little bit far. And so both of them testing each other out. Both of them getting into good positions, and possession being so important between these two.
Yeah, and almost that bump resulted in Yopego able to put it in, but he actually just went wide and left it. Picks up the 100 now as well, as it doesn't take 2 empty shots though. When you are equalized and you're not trying to pick up your third, you know, it's actually just going for boost over potential shots, and that's okay. You know, a lot of time left to make plays. Can he get up? Not able to get up there as well. So rebound goes wide, and it might be in the favor of to die for. Oh, was that last touch from Yopego there?
Yeah, he tried to make the attempt then. Just had bounce off the backboard, put it up too high, and Yopego was trying to get back into this. A lovely touch by Tadafo, and he even had the presence of mind to leave the ball when it was on the correct trajectory and go for the bump. Yopego was a little bit slow behind it, and the slower pace meant that he couldn't get there in time. Now Tadafo going to pick it up, going to go for the flick. It's nice and high. Yopego goes up onto the backboard. It's going to be a second shot attempt coming out. Tadafo gets a third attempt there, just keeps putting it high enough onto the backboard that Yopego can't reach it, and 4 goals to 2 now for Tadafo.
Yeah, and I love the start coming out here from Tadafo. I mean, we've kind of sung the praises of Yopega, and we've kind of done all the kind of, high praise and the pedestal sitting, and maybe not as much props given to Tadafo. And of course, he's now, having such a phenomenal game. 1 year up by 2, decent flicks, decent back on the defense. They are sadly caught Tadafo. They're still stuck in the corner, but yeah, playing still decently well, even though I did concede now.
Yeah, Tadafo this time being the bounce working against him, just out of that corner, so unpredictable. Was maybe hoping it was going to roll around the side and would be in that position, so committed to the corner and was therefore out of position for Yopego's shot. Yopego doing a good job to read that. He's going to pick up the boost and look to be on the offensive now to turn this back around. Doesn't like being in the losing scoreline, but Tadafo has done a good job of putting on the defense, and this one's broken away a little bit. Yopego going to be skipping the boost to try go back towards the center. Tadafo has to make a quick jump into the air. He's got the aerial touch. He's got one of them. He's going to drop it down. Yopego gets up so quickly, though, pushes it down to the other side of the field, and in the last minutes, able to pick up that extra goal.
Yeah, and Yopego doesn't really like to play from behind for too long. He's not going to sit in a losing position for too long. And now, of course, the very quick counter attack coming out gets the equalizer, gets the 4th, and yeah, so potential overtime. Or are we going to see one of these 2 players get the 5th Ultrism?
Oh, I think both of them are. And there's the first one for Tadafo.
Yeah. They're just going to force it, right? It's just going to be leapfrogging, leapfrog the whole way up.
And we did say this was going to be a close competition. We did say that this was probably going to go to an overtime at some stage, and you can see why. Both of these guys, very high-scoring game already, 9 goals in it. As these guys are always wanting to just counter-attack and be able to push it a little bit more. This could be a good opportunity. The bounce is not with Tadafo. He's going to have to make something happen off the wall. He's not going to be able to get it past Yopego. Tries to steal the boost and is at least going to be able to overlap him and get the save.
Yeah, now all the pressure on Yopego to try score again as our clock's slowly running down. Stealing that boost there in the corner.
Yopego doing a good job to go up for that 50, and now he's got to break away. He doesn't have the boost to chase this, so probably just going to back out. Doesn't want to give it another goal here, because that could be the end of it for him. As we go to the last 15 seconds, Yopego going to be under a lot of pressure now to make this work. He's going to bounce back towards the center, and every time it touches the ball, touches the ground, and that clock ticks, it's going to be louder and louder in Yopego's ear. He's got one more breakaway attempt. He's going to have to make this shot count. It's gone high. Tadafo has managed to save it off the backboard. Yopego going to be keeping it up. Pinches it nicely. Tadafo pushes it out, and that should be the end of our game. Yopego going to have to go the whole length of the field. Not going to be able to do it. And our first game goes to the wow, that is hard to say. To Tadafo.
To die for. Yeah, no, it's absolutely given us a mouthful to or at least a tongue twister to read. But yeah, Ultrism, that's the game. 5-4, very, very tough game. A lot of sweat there coming out from both these players. And yeah, so maybe the more underrated of the 2 players to die for as we go into the semi-final game. But picks up the W in the first match. And yeah, what a fantastic game it was. 13 shots there. So now more of the shots on the side of To Die For as opposed to Yopego this time around. And yeah, what a great, great game one.
And it's not often you see in a ones game where the loser actually has the highest score. And it just is a testament to how much work Yopego had to put into defense there, managing to, I think it was 6 saves they'd managed to pick up there by the end of it, and a lot of work. And, considering Yopego was the one, like you said, who was getting all the shots in, was putting on all that pressure, had to do some backtracking and was not up to the task by 1 goal. It's such a close way to do it. We didn't get our overtime, but every game so far should be a tight contest.
Yeah, we're not even going to need any overtimes at this rate. It's just going to be hotly contested. Oh, has To Die For already gets the beat. Puts it in.
Too aggressive by Yopego. Way too aggressive. Not a good enough clear.
And now kind of this becomes a very exciting ones tournament. Because when we you know, you might think in certain circles that we're going to have two teammates face each other, or To Die For is actually just going to have a crazy series and Yopega is going to drop out. And I mean, you know, we've got over 4 minutes left to see if that's going to take place. But I mean, this is exciting stuff.
It is. Ooh, that missed boost in the center. Still, Yopego doesn't go for it. And To Die For has the boost advantage, has even managed to get the bump on Yopego. So going to go up for the air dribble. Great timing for it as well. Gets the second touch. But Yopego comes through, being able to rotate there with that extra 100 boost that he picked up. Means that he was able to do the work. And now again, left midfield with no boost. Not able to put on really any aggressive plays. Until this, just chooses the opportunity, makes the shot go wide. But a little bit of pressure for To Die For, and To Die For is doing a good enough job though to be able to control the pace of this. The demo could change that.
Yeah. Okay, so there we go. Kind of empty goal, gets the late spawn, and yeah, nice demo there. Perfect. Yopego knows that's kind of what he needs to win in first kind of real bump or demo we've seen come out that resulted in a goal. So yeah, but Yopego knows this is kind of the way you have to do it, right? Get dirty, and yeah. So 1 apiece right now.
What a story of this match that is, the 1 apiece and then turning it around. Now Yopego going to be taking the lead. No, it goes off both of the uprights and the demo goes the other way. We did see Yopego having such a good opportunity there. It's up for To Die For now to get the flick. He does manage to get good control of it. It's going to go straight up off Yopego's car, and Yopego doing enough there to turn around. To Die For not wanting to stick around for any other opportunities. Going to have to come back and do some goaltending himself after the long shot. And Yopego now setting up a good offensive opportunity. Can he get past To Die For? To Die For, in fact, no. It is going to be Yopego, though, picking up the boost. And so shutting down that offensive opportunity for To Die For now.
Ah, and that demo, long field, but I mean, it's To Die For to get back so he can save his own goalpost there. Yopego demoed on, so he started back. Can he get the flick over?
Oh.
Should be able to do some beautiful play.
Man, I thought he was going to actually go for the just a second little bump up there, or even the long flick straight away, but delays that so much, rolls his car underneath it to get that extra bit of height and get his car back into position and flicks it over. And so again, it travels to the other side of the field. Orange scoring this time. Yopego in a good position to set this up though. Going to take a quick shot. Is a powerful shot. Is just wide.
Yeah, along with that power though, of course you need a bit of accuracy, so... Oh, driving it home, being the bully, and the absolute forcefulness coming up from To Die For. Just absolutely rams with full boost into this ball. Well, that's the way you do it.
A very risky play, because if it comes out in a weird way and you end up draining all your boost and ending up in the back of the your opponent's goal, it can be very bad. But this way, you don't need flicks, you don't need immense amounts of skill or fantastic calculated touches. You just need to do enough work. Has he done enough work? This time he has, and so far Yopego getting more and more behind. 2 goals in it. This could be his opportunity to get it back. Doesn't manage to fake it out. Is still going to be in a dangerous position, but To Die For again escaping by the skin of his teeth. I think we've had more crossbars and uprights than we've had goals in this game so far.
Yes, definitely a lot of play coming from that kind of fourth man back, the stationary fourth man, and both these cuts playing so well. Yopego didn't have anything in the tank there earlier as well, so there could have been a potential quick counter attack from To Die For. It didn't happen though, so lucky Josh Paul, but still down by 2 though, so lucky To Die For as he is getting ever closer to that grand final game. And now here is the 4th goal.
Man, I don't even think he saw Yopego on this rotation. He was going for the ball, and Yopego just tried to flip into it, met the front side of To Die For's car, and To Die For just went, okay, sure, that's great. He'll take it exactly where he needs to.
Take it where he needs to, and now down by 3. To Die For, maybe getting a little cocky, but it's okay. You know, that's confidence and cocky seem to be very, very close together. Yeah, Ultrism. Tight, that's for sure.
Scoreline might not be the one that we end up with. It's going to be up to Tadafo to not give away this lead. He's still got a minute and a half left to defend it, but he's wanting to keep up this aggressive opportunity here. He jumps up for it, realizes Yopego's in the air, and so makes the wise decision to rotate back. Now forces Yopego to go the whole length of the field. Is going to look for a power shot as Yopego's retreating. Flicks it up nicely. Yopego has managed to do the work though. He still has to defend a second shot. This one's chipped up so beautifully by Tadafo. Tadafo fakes out the jump. And Yopego being able to recollect himself very quickly to be able to get back in time for that. But still, 30 seconds now drained from the clock. Yopego has to keep doing work, and Tadafo doesn't need any more goals. He just needs to keep this ball away from his goals.
Yeah. Oh, it's tough. Yopego kind of now hanging a lot deeper back. They're trying to get the save, got to get the read off the backboard, and I can just see just not as much confidence or kind of forward play coming out from Yopego as all the commanding lead seems to be here on the side of Tadafo. And 3 goals in 30 seconds seems like a tall order. So, I don't know if Yopego can't score right now. It is potentially going to be this game 2 going towards the side you have Tadafo. And, well played. Flip doesn't get it off, but it's fine. Okay, fine. Gets in a second now, but I don't know. 2-goal deficit. Can you get that in a sub 20 minutes? A goal every 10 seconds. It's kind of basically kickoff goals or nothing.
I definitely feel like Tadafo's attitude there was he was going to try and show off. He managed to wear down the clock for the longest amount of time, being able to get that extra minute off it when he got that 4th goal lead. And so, like you say, it's up to Yopego. And when it bounces like this, that's going to be a long time for him to start getting around. He gets a nice long shot onto the backboard. Tadafo defends it, deflects it quite easily towards the corner. And as it starts ticking down, every one of these seconds is a goal that Yopego needs to be scoring. It does go into the back of the net, but as he gets that, as the buzzer goes, and so with the again incredibly close scoreline, Yopego comes off second best. He's not going to be going through to the finals to match up against his teammates, and a good game by Tadafo to be able to take this 2-0. Close games, not a close scoreline, but it belies it. And again, Yopego are going to be coming out with the highest score. 7 saves there against the 12 shots from Tadafo.
And I tell you, definitely not the outcome I think many people would have expected. Of course, there Tadafo kind of just copy-paste, throwing a little bit of the banter back at Josh Paul that Yopego threw out a chase. So, you've played well and you've grinded and you're getting better. And of course, that's a nice cheeky way to win. And of course, I think we know a bit of banter is always, it's normal. So yeah, Tadafo picking up a sweep there, 2-0. And yeah, maybe not what we expected. I think, ones is a tough game, and you can be as quick as Yopego, as skilled as Yopego, and you can definitely still get beaten on. And Tadafo had just a crack of a series.
I think Yopego won that first round because he was able to dictate the pace of the match, get the space to set up any of those flicks or those aerial plays that he needed to. And this time, Tadafo just gave him no space. Just being able to get there. Didn't have to do amazing tricks, didn't have to do amazing recoveries, just was always aware and cognizant of the fact that I'm not going to overcommit. That was the 100% the game plan of Tadafo is I just need to make sure I don't give away a lot of goals going the other way, and then find the opportunities when I can. And Tadafo had the skills that when he went on the opportunity, when he went on the offensive, he was able to find the back of the net and did very well to be able to clinch himself a spot in that final against Wee Casper.
Yeah, I know, phenomenal play there. So yeah, as you said, Wee Casper taking on Tadafo. And now when we see the games that Tadafo's had today and kind of the run he's had and how well he's played, do we see Wee Casper having his work cut out for him? I think so.
I think so. I must admit, Tadafo certainly proved himself to be a very, very viable opposition here. Wee Casper wasn't showing off a lot of the technical skills of being able to get amazing flicks. Didn't really need to take that 2-0 against Demos, and is going to have to pull out some of those tricks that we know that Wee Casper can have. It's going to be up to good positional play and then being able to execute it flawlessly against someone like Tadafo. And so in this finals, do you have a score prediction? Do you have a favorite? Because right now, Tadafo is feeling very, very strong and almost unbeatable.
Yeah, I almost have to take the easy way out and just say it's probably going to be to die for, not with the sweep, but definitely with the win.
It's amazing considering how much we've said that they are not going to be sweeps and they're going to be very close contests, that we've only had one game that actually has gone to game 3 so far.
Tell me
Everything
about
else,
it.
2-0s. And I mean, I don't know if it's just the caster's curse or if these guys are putting out stuff that we were not expecting, because certainly we've seen all the players playing very well tonight, and the fact that it has gone one-sided like that. I mean, considering Yopego versus 2-4 was 1 goal in it every time, that means that you should be going through to a game 3. Come on.
Yeah, it's just the nature of this title and how deep it is and how phenomenal it is. Just anyone can win, and it's just it's decent, it's fast paced, there's action. It's only 5 minutes a game. You can watch this when you're cooking dinner, whatever the case is. It trumps a lot of titles in that aspect. Is that it has action, it has competition. You can't kind of count out the underdogs, and you definitely can't always back the big guys and the big names, and that's exactly what we've seen this whole evening.
It has been great. And with us going into the 5-game grand finals now, of course, it's a little bit more opportunity. Maybe 1 or 2 mistakes not going to be as detrimental, will maybe cost you a game, but there's always time for it to come around and turn it around in the next game. You can shake off a single game loss, and there's not that pressure as we go straight into the second game, where you're now going, well, this is my one chance to make or break in the competition. 5 games. Are we going all the way to 5? My personal prediction, 3-1 to die for.
Yeah, no, that's not a bad reach at all. I don't think it's gonna push to game 5. I mean, Casper can get really sweaty. Let's see, he's beaten Hoodie Hoo before. It's an achievement. But, to dive for coming off massive momentum, now he's on a good high. Casper's had a rest, whether the break's good for you, whether it's a cooldown. Rocket League's a weird game like that. We're going to see. 3-1, definitely I might be able to join you on that one, since my predictions have been pretty poor tonight. So
then don't choose my prediction. I want to be right. Come on.
No, let me come sit in your corner for once, man. You got the Rocky Balboa corner there, so...
I'm back to Doubtful from the first round. Let's just get that out there right now. Guys, we are ready. The players have joined the lobby. We are going to be jumping now into our grand finals. To Die For versus WeCasper. Both these guys have managed to at least get some credits behind them. Now it's up for the 700 credit difference. 1,200 credits for the winner of this. 500 credits for our second place here. But congrats to both these players before we even start. And now it's up for the bragging rights more than anything.
Yeah, and ones is that type of game. It's definitely all about the bragging, and that's going to be 2 die for very early.
Man.
Yeah.
WeCasper was so close to getting this actually off the side. They just got greedy going for that boost. And Tadafor turned it so quickly. I think he caught WeCasper off. And we've seen that was not necessarily a tactically wrong play, because we have seen that when someone has no boost and they have to start fending off shots, then they get boosted off very quickly. And that can end up with a goal just 20 seconds later. But a good attempt so far from WeCasper to start us off, but to die for coming out the victor there, and he's got a good breakaway now as well. WeCasper's got the boost advantage, and so to die for has to be respectful of this. Doesn't be respectful, instead goes up for the challenge and finds the back of the net from midfield on no boost.
Respect for who slots it in, beautiful play there, beats the man. Almost post though, but yeah, it does nudge it in there by a centimeter.
Oh, 420 on the board is plenty of time for anyone else. A couple of our chat probably going to be celebrating at that moment in their own ways. To die for looking in a good position again, and he gets it up. He hits the crossbar though. Had WeCasper beaten, WeCasper now starting to get low on boost, and so a second chip attempt coming from Tudar4. Doesn't manage to get it, but has the boost to be able to rotate it around, get it away from the hands of WeCasper. And WeCasper very keen to just starve boost for Tudar4. Has got the space now, has got the attempt at the shot, not hard enough, and isn't going to find the back of the net. Tudar4 going to be able to pick up some boost and sends it a long way down the pitch. It isn't going to be on target. Oh, it is! It was just on the post, and WeCasper puts it back into his own net.
Yeah, unfortunate touch there on the nose as long shot comes out here from Tudar4. And as we just see, yeah, Casper I think knew and actually just faked it and left it and went left. And yeah, 3 up for to die for in this first game of the potential best of 5 series. Things looking very, very, very solid for our man in blue.
He's going to have another opportunity here again, creating some space for himself. Decides not to go for it this time. Respects his opponent and decides to stay back. Casper doing a good rotation though. Again, both of them just understanding when too far is too far. And they just want to get back. Oh, and he goes low. He dribbles it underneath to Darfor, who pre-jumped that.
Yeah. To Darfor now, the one grabbing the corner boost. But, oh, love it. Yeah, so instead of the flicks we've seen the whole even the man, he jumps high and then you played under. And that's actually the first time we've seen that shot. So I hope your bingo score sheet's filled in. I think production and everyone behind the scenes, bingo score sheets in the future, very good idea.
We did see the Cooks a pinch as well, so
yes.
Hey, we really are just waiting now for the flip reset, I think, to get us out of this competition, or at least this game today. We did see it on Saturday when we came through. Casper didn't flick last time, but does flick this time. Goes too high, in fact, and it goes off that and bounces past him to die for. Not going to make a mistake. And how many times have we seen this 4-1 scoreline?
And to die for double jumped by mistake. Well, whether you believe it or not, he is up by 3 goals. So having a phenomenal time in this game 1. And yeah, Casper just having to maybe sweat a little bit more. Things are looking stressful for our player in orange. Takes a long shot. Oh, okay, going to be kept about to die for quite easily. Now his quick counter attack doesn't result in anything with. Yeah, to die for definitely a phenomenal time. 3-1, a possibility here, Ultrism, that's for sure.
Man, I think Casper has a way better idea of how big those goals are than I, because I thought that was actually going to go into the top right-hand corner. Casper doesn't even bother to jump. Instead, decides to slow it down, takes it back towards his own net, going to be following this the whole way around, looking for an opportunity, but Tudafor just constantly on his case, wanting to keep it in that orange side, force them to give away possession down to the long side of the field, is going to go up for this, in fact, just going to let it drop down. And this is where he's always so dangerous. When you give him space on that center field, he can pull out 1 of 10 moves, and each of them requires such a different approach on his defense. Not able to do it that time, but looking for it this time.
Oh, almost caught him behind again. Doesn't have that review mirror in check. And now the bump. So, beautiful bump going backwards. Defensive bump, able to pick up the ball again. And, just as Casper, can he get in the left-hand side? Oh, close. Kept out to Darfor, though. Doing so phenomenally well on that bump and a quick counter attack.
Tudafor just fakes forward, wanting to make sure that Casper's under pressure, not give him any time. And it means that Casper is having to push these shots out and give the possession. Tudafor still constantly hanging around, being a threat. Is going to fake out the jump now, going to pick it up nicely on half field. Looking dangerous. Casper this time doesn't want to give him any space. Tries to turn around for a counter attack, but still Tudafor in a great position to just control this as much as he wants. He hasn't really given up a lot of possession in the last minute and a half. This time he goes for the flick. It's too high. He's going to try to read it off the backboard. Gets a soft touch. Maybe not reading it perfectly, but covers his angle perfectly enough that he's able to get an extra goal. 4-goal lead now with just a minute left.
Yeah, and if Casper kind of just rushed that 50, then just got in his face and just, you spoke about that control. Tudafor just held it until that perfect second, got the flick over, and then, had to just walk it home, got the double tap in, and then easy peasy. Up by 4, potentially should be game 1 in the bag. Okay, if that's not game 1 in the bag, Tudafor with the 6 goals. So, already, making work of our grand final.
Yeah. Tudafor, like I said, looked very, very dominant in the last couple of games that he played in there. Casper, I think he just thought that Tudafor maybe rotated back a little bit, and so gave him the space, let it come off that sidewall, and gave it away in a little bit of a precarious situation. The demo comes up, but the flick over the top means that Casper is not going to be able to take the offense. He is going to get himself some space, and Tudafor wastes no time in trying to go get boost or anything like that. Instead, gets the 50 and gets the redirect. There's your Brazil scoreline that we were waiting for.
Yeah, and just beautiful read off the corner. Doesn't have to go for the boost, just plays it in. Easy peasy. Casper nowhere to be seen, of course, got to get back quite quickly. Goes for the corner boost himself there, but that's not enough. So the big Brazil, it's a tough game 1 if you are Casper. If you are to die for, this is exactly the result you do want.
And, you know, a good opportunity. So far, Casper not being able to really put in anything that's troubled to die for too much. Just the one little counter attack. And I think it comes down to the lack of space that he's had in this game. He can make those attempts, and that one was a good one. Going to be able to beat most players, but we are in our grand finals, and that's the caliber of player that we have left here. So therefore, not going to be too worried about this. Now going to waste out the last couple of seconds. Just calmly bounces it across his own net, lets it touch down. And our first game of our 5-game grand finals goes to die for with 11 shots on goals.
Yeah, oof, absolute cracker. So, you know, the amount of shots we have seen come out this evening, it's definitely, if we don't get close to 50 or about 60 odd, I'd be surprised, because we've seen a whole ton already in the previous games, the Ultras. And the big 1300 picked up by to die for. Huge score line, and of course just attributes to the amount of goals that he got to score there. So yeah, fantastic game number one. I mean, I guess it's all uphill from here. You know, you can't really do, you know, you'll be losing after a 7-1, I guess.
Yeah, I like how you said we're going to get to 50 goals. I'm pretty sure there have been 50 goals in any of the best of threes that we've seen, considering like the one game was 20 shots just for Yapego. So, you know, we're looking at it. There's 17 shots between the two of them here. So therefore, having to do a couple more saves, but I think that's just because of the difference in scoreline. Casper not being able to do as much defensive work as he needed to keep out the rest of these. But still, one goal in it for him is not going to be enough to try and take this away. We did say previously, though, one game does not affect the next. It gives you a little bit more momentum, but that momentum can be turned around so quickly. And I think that's what Casper is going to be wanting to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, Tudafo has been riding the high. You know, beating your Pego is a nice big feather in your cap, and he's just riding this momentum all the way through on Casper. So definitely having the best forward momentum one can have. See, Casper, you find that he goes for the corner boost rather than trying to go for the kill shot. And that's the second time he's rather committed to boost, you know, over putting the golden, and, you know, he limits his chances, you know, of getting a golden. Of course, the quick rebuttal there coming out from Tudafo. So, yeah, I don't know if it's costing him or not. You know, maybe he's greedy versus, you know, not being greedy.
I think it is a little bit of greed, and you got to start realizing how much do you need to beat my opponents. And he probably has a lot of respect for Tudafo, where he's going, you know, I actually do need as many resources as I can to take this guy out, but you also need to create the opportunities. And if you're going for boost, you're not. Oh, that was one of the most savage fakes I have ever seen in a Rocket League game. Lifts it up, fakes out the air dribble. Casper goes soaring as Tudafo dives back down and dribbles that into the back of the net.
Double tap. We'll see double tap in chat. Yeah, no, huge from Tudafo. He's just playing games at this moment. And yeah, he's embarrassing everyone on streams. Big fakes here coming up from Felisa. So yeah. Oh, bump.
Oh,
Casper, fine. You know, you deserve it, lad, because what Tudafo did to you earlier was dirty.
I think that was a heads-up play. He actually turned around to get the bump instead of going for the shot. He realized the angle for him was very, very difficult to try and get, and did not factor in the fact that he could get that obtuse angle. Instead goes for the bump and opens himself up for some opportunity. And we talked about how important something like a bump or a demo could be, and how many times it has come out. Talking about a demo now, it's just opened up the time for Casper to get back across the field, get some control on this ball. Is he going to go over? No, Tudafo with the aggression comes forward, pushes it to the other side of the field, and could actually, is going to slot in his third.
Yeah, and so this is that. It's action-packed in Pool 3, right? You know, GCs, strong South African GCs doing the most here. Yeah, unfortunately, Casper not back there in time. And those beautiful, beautiful flowers coming out there from Tudafo, you know, giving us just such a nice floral display.
Floral display, and it could be the wreath on the funeral, in the funeral that is Casper so far. He has a lot of work still to do. Didn't manage to get a lot this time, but again, going for the bump, just realizes if he can't play the ball to where he wants it to be, he's just going to put his opponent out of where he wants to be.
Yeah, now that was a beautiful touch there. Went around the wall, wrapped around very quickly, had the momentum, got the bump. That was to die for now, going for that corner boost this time around. And yeah, slowly we do have Casper clawing his way back in this series and in this game. A lot of time though, 3.5, so definitely can still score here. A lot of action packed and not as slow as what we did witness in the previous game though, Ultrism. You know, I think the hunger and the intensity just going up a couple notches.
And maybe that's going to be costing. In fact, Casper does a good enough job to threaten the demo on the way back, and Tadafor, just realizing how important these demos are, decides to push it towards the side. Now Tadafor again just shadowing in such a dangerous position that Casper has to rethink his movement forward. Now going to take it onto the ground, tries to get a flick over the top. Is he going to go for it? No, tries for the bait out instead. Tadafor this time not going to be double jumping, but misses the open goals. It gives Casper the opportunity to turn around.
Yeah, decent demo on the defense there as well. You can see just how quick Tadafor there as well, is able to put that ball back into an advantageous position. But there we go, the beneficial position. Now going to Casper, picks up a third. Oh yeah, it's just was able to get past Tadafor there as he tried to get a jump into his face.
And that's something that's a great adaptation coming out from Casper. Tadafor has been very aggressive when he comes out for the challenges. He realizes that Casper doesn't have full control of the ball and it is not going to flick it over him. So he just charges through the center, and there Casper just cementing his car behind the ball means that the 50-50 is almost guaranteed to go his way, and uses that to push forward into it. And going to be interesting to see how the two of them keep running with that strategy. Not a lot of boost. And again, Casper, you cannot keep falling for this.
Yeah, and now, you know, they're talking about those adaptations. I love the fact that the players kind of can be very versatile in a game. You know, we've gone from a lot of flicks now to a lot of playing under the man, and you can see now both these players, you know, play under the man, you score goals, and now, you know, Tadafor is just loving this variant of his where he's getting under Casper, and he's done so twice and he scored twice, so it's definitely working. And like you said, can Casper, you know, not fall for it anymore, because, you know, it's coming out play after play. You know, he's just recycling the move, but it is working. So if it doesn't itch, you don't scratch, and Casper just needs to be a little wiser on the field.
He's doing well with it so far, flicking this around. He's gone over the top this time, but he doesn't manage to get back in time for it and gets stuck on the wall. So Tadafor going to be escaping with his life and a goal to boot.
Oh yeah, it is tough, definitely. Ultras just hear it, right? Pig still has time to pick up the big boost, has the 100, doesn't even use any of the beans, just pops it in, gets the beautiful butterflies coming out there. Up by 2 now, and definitely game getting a little tougher for Casper as we get deep into the game. And yeah, Tadafor, he's having fun with this. You know, he's just kind of doing what he needs to do. It's a nice casual ones tournament. Flick over, can he beat the man? Oh, close.
Again, he's just getting these soft, delicate touches. He realizes, like he did in the previous game against Yopego, he doesn't need to go and get every one of the touches. He doesn't have to hit the ball hard or keep up the pace or anything like that. He's able to just keep it out of the reach of Casper, or at least make it incredibly difficult for him. And again, just dominates it on this side of the field. Doesn't need to score goals. We've got 1:20 left in this. But when Casper's going to throw it at that pace, you got to be very careful about your positioning.
Yeah, plays down the whole length of the field as well. Decent mechanical control. Yeah, finds Tadafor, just kind of looking backwards, not able to see what happens. Yeah, pops it in. Like you said, fast 110, so it was a biggie. And here we go. So Casper again playing from behind. It seems to be the thing he does. You know, he does need to find himself in a more leading position going forward. This is only game 2, so hopefully, you know, Casper can actually be leading for once, because, you know, Tadafor's comfortable in the lead, you know, kind of gets to play, gets beaten, then scores a goal, then gets beaten again, and, you know, this lead is just helping him the whole entire time. And I think for Casper, he needs to actually find himself that lead for once. Oh,
very difficult save to make for Casper. We saw Tadafor coming off the wall here, realized he's got some space and boosts straight through that ball to get it up quickly onto the back of his car. And while Casper is still collecting boost midway, again, maybe slightly greedy there, but left him in a very tricky position. And so the 1-goal lead comes back, the 2-goal lead comes back up for Tadafor, and that's where he's going to be comfortable now. You know, with 1 goal, you know that you have to fight all the way until the end of the buzzer. but when you got 2 goals, 40 seconds is a lot of time for wee Casper to try and make something work.
Yeah, the hill gets just a little steeper to climb, but of course, Casper does have the resilience to do so. Doesn't beat To Die For there on the near post, and now To Die For, can he take it the whole way home? Got about a quarter left in the tank, though. Doesn't beat the man, but when you're up by 2, it's okay. Picks up the big 100. Now Casper with the counter. Can he get the flick? Ain't gonna happen. Read the man, was quite easy. Shadowed him well enough there.
He's got an opportunity now, but no, as that was maybe the last attempt to buy himself a final attempt here. Actually does get the flip reset, but it is going to be To Die For being able to take that again quite comfortably. 10 shots on goals. Bench warmer with 198 touches. Maybe not the right Rocket League stats, Psionics. I'd like to submit a report, but 10 shots on goals versus the 9 of Orange. Means that there is a very close competition coming out here, and To Die For coming just ahead in this one. But it is now game point. We're looking at wee Casper having to make a full reverse sweep to try and get back into this game.
And I think it's just going to be so incredibly tough. To Die For has just been in the leading position the whole time. He's had such a good command of the game, and now a reverse sweep is just such a tall order. Not that it can't be done, but of course To Die For just playing so incredibly well there. We saw at the end Casper trying to go for a shot, gets the flip, but then again it would have only been 6-5. So when that deficit is big, the comeback is long, and like you said, if it was kind of 5-4, maybe a little easier for Casper, force at OT, but alas, it didn't happen. So yeah, series point going to Die For, and such a strong play. It's just going to be a hill and a half to climb for Casper.
It is indeed. Wee Casper has to do it, and considering those 2 goals were probably the 2 fakes that To Die For put in there. It's not the way you want to go out into this, and wee Casper really adapted nicely. We talked about that, the fact that he was able to change up the way he was taking 50s or use those bumps to his advantage. If he can carry on doing something like that, then he's got an opportunity to come back into this, but has to try and figure this out a little bit more. Again, To Die For going to be picking up the advantage here. Wee Casper leaves it in the center, and so To Die For going to be going up for this. Has got an advantageous spawn from wee Casper. Wee Casper just on the wrong side of the net to try to come back. And again, 16 seconds in, we are 1 goal up.
Yeah, and we read in this like a novel. This is the repeats are on. To Die For having a decent time, spawn not going away of Casper. And yeah, so no, To Die For having a decent time, not able to get that rebound in his favor here, but it's okay, up by 1 still. And yeah, Casper's going to have to do a lot of work. It's going to require a lot of sweat and a lot of bumping and demos to try and get the win. And just, can he push this ball all the way? Yeah, fine.
Again, To Die For this time being maybe a little bit out of position, going aggressive, and wee Casper uses that pace and a little bit of boost to get a nice hard shot to send it down and outside of the range of To Die For. And that's where a lot of players maybe make the mistake of they slow it down at that stage. They try and get control of the ball. You don't need control of it. You need control until you can take a shot. And wee Casper does that from basically his own net. Now wee Casper going to be able to get up the control and try and get a flick going. Instead, To Die For again, very, very aggressive. Pushes forward and takes the 50-50 off the top of him. And then baits it out again.
Yeah. No, the fakes and the baits here are fantastic. And a nice word from other titles, Altruism, is debated. You were debated.
Oh, Jabeta just puts a little bit more venom into that, especially when it's 3 times now in 2 games. It's got to be something. And that's got to actually weigh on your psychology if you're wee Casper. Now you don't know, is he faking? Is he not going to fake? The reverse psychology starts playing into this. And he goes, I think he's going to jump. I think he's not going to jump. I think he is going to think that I'm going to jump. Oh, but the bump! Wee Casper!
Yeah, very, very good intention there, because he does try to go for the bump. He doesn't get it at the end of the day, but it's fine because he can score. But yeah, very, very good intention. Gets the hit. And like you said, just being adaptable on the field and able to do different stuff like this. Casper knows he needs to shoot then bump, or at least make something else different. And he did it, and it results in a goal. So yeah, kudos to him. Oh, beaten by? Oh, can't get around in time. Just like that, it's so quick that you score, and it's so quick that you concede.
He does such a nice job here, just that off the slight advantage on the kickoff, and he doesn't even have to do anything. He just drives straight at it. Casper has to try and make up all the space, and now again with a 1-goal lead, Casper, remember this is his last chance. He is 2 games down in this best of 5 finals, so he's going to have to make something happen. Tries to maybe bait out to Darfor, this time aggressive, but with that a little bit of temper, means that he's able to cut out of it when he sees that it's not going to go his way. Casper goes up for the jump. Tadaf so close though, means that Casper, nope, doesn't give it long enough, and it is going to be a turnaround goal. Again, maybe Casper just not respecting the aggression coming out from Tadaf.
No, it just read him like a cheap novel. Take that home, picks up a 12, didn't really need it, puts it home. Like you said, as soon as accuracy is on, pump it forward. You don't have to be fancy, and he did so. And yeah, to die for having such a great evening and having such a great grand finals.
Casper not out of this yet, but he's going to have to do better than that if he wants to find the back of the net and his lifeline back into this competition again. Gives the space up to the Darfor. Musty flick over the top and then tries to bully it into the back of it. Not being able to get enough on that musty flick to be able to get it over Casper. So Casper stays alive for a little bit, sends it up very high. So Darfor not just defends it off the back wall, but manages to collect it and is going to be cutting towards the center. Doesn't have a lot of boost, but you don't need a lot of boost when you flick it at the exact right time.
Oh, and you know, how cheeky are these flicks. I love them. Let's close out the bingo. Let's really call it home now. To dive for absolutely having fun with this grand finals, as you should. Yeah, I didn't pull it off the first time Ultrism, but definitely got it in the second time. And man, this man just knows how to finish.
Darfor missed that boost, and so he's going to be in a bit of a predicament now as he has to take on Casper. Casper wins the 50, and so Darfor has to make a rotation back. Doesn't get the lucky boost spawn. Is going to go for it this time. Casper's got a bit of space though. Doesn't manage to bait him out with the fake, and so Darfor just being able to look so powerful at any stage, and he just gets it lazily around the outside. In fact, gonna show some mercy on this one. He just wants to go for the high level place. Now we're going for the flick reset. He tries for it. Casper not going to be baited into it this time. Respects the flip reset. Able to identify it now. Casper. I hope to Darfor that this doesn't come back and bite you. What a way to do this if he ends up this costing him the tournament.
3 goal deficit though. I mean, tough to say. He's got such a commanding lead now. Okay, that's fine. Good shot coming up from Casper. Lost the touch there from that for bottom left corner. So down by 2 now only. Can he bring it back? The reverse sweep, very tough when you also are behind by so much in a series point. So Casper still has a hell of a lot of work left to do.
Yeah, you can see Darfor very, very confident in this, and confidence could be hubris if he's not careful. Oh, but when he starts putting in shots like that, doesn't manage to come out, but had the exact right idea, just slightly executed a little bit off target, and so Casper gonna have to try and make some attempt again. Darfor going up for this one, tries for the jump over the top, and Casper has an opportunity. This could bring it down to a 1-goal lead. He misses the goals.
Oh, that pesky crossbar. That pesky post. Yeah, and I mean, both of them just falling short to the post, and of course, both the players getting kept out by it, but more detrimental when you are Casper, because he still needs to claim 2. And yeah, to die for very, very happy that was the case. So now on a quick counter attack, can he get it past? Oh, mercy! The fakes all damn day.
I wonder if he's trying to keep a tally of the most number of fakes in a 1v1's game versus a good opponent, because he's got 3 so far that we've counted. Don't know if we've missed any, but now the aerial plays. He's going to try to read it off the backboard. He gets the angle. No, he puts it across the bar. Still going to keep possession here above Casper, but merciless in his attempt so far. Besides that one, gets the pinch off the ground. Going to go up for the second one and finds it coming across the goal.
Oh, and yeah, Casper caught there in the goals, didn't get out, just stopped and maybe kind of knew he was conceding. Did take a small jump there, not enough to get up. Probably nothing in the tank, plus didn't double tap. So yeah, to die for having such a nice grand and such a good run to the grand finals as well. Beating Upega, decent win there as well. And just, like you said, the number of fakes coming out. And poor Casper, just absolutely getting churned left, right, and center.
I mean, you got to give credit to Darfor. No one's really been able to give him a competition so far as we end out the last 10 seconds. Oh, we're going to see the flip resets. Just the musty flip resets. Oh, Casper showing that he's definitely got some skills, but not able to pull it out consistently enough. A really nice way to end off this game for him. Not when you look at the score line eventually at the end of this. Not going to be what's reported on the social media, but a nice bit there. And I think that's officially bingo, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, geez, I would tell Ultras about that last move. That was a hell of a shot. Wait, dirty. Casper pulled it out for us. But besides the bingo, 2 die for picking up our Midlife Gaming Crisis and Twisted Minds 1v1 tournament winner. 3-0 Ultrasm. I mean, in fashion, just didn't drop. Well, he dropped games, but I mean, just did so damn well to win.
Yeah, there's a lot of amazing 1v1 players that didn't join us for this tournament. I'm not sure why, because I would have loved to have seen even more Rocket League action here. And so far, to Darfor just going, right, what other challenges do I have? Very exciting to see him. I'm not sure if he is playing for a team, but I would love to see him join into some of the top-ranked tournaments that we've got going on right now and see what he can pull off when he starts getting some teammates around him. Can he pull off any of these dribbles on his own, maybe bait out 2 or 3 people? Very bright future going ahead for Darfor because he was completely uncontested today. Took 2-0 in the first round against Daisy, then took a 2-0 against Upega, then demolished and dismantled his teammate, literally being able to take pieces apart, sending him careening off in different directions. Amazing car control, amazing technical play, and amazing strategic play to be able to know exactly what to do in every one of those situations. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed this Rocket League as much as we have. We promised you that today being the champion level and the Supersonic Legend bracket, that we brought you some of the best skills that are available to Rocket League players right now, and what a way to finish off this tournament.
Yeah, and a phenomenal play there from both those players. Hard luck there to Casper, and of course the kudos going to Darfor. If he's a free agent, guys, pick him up, get in that VS gaming. Put him in your team, definitely someone to look out for. But of course, we know all these players have dabbled on teams, been on and off them. Ultrism, but I think that's a great way to end a public holiday.
Oh, yeah, definitely a great way, and a great way for a long weekend. Lots of Rocket League action brought to you guys. If you didn't get to go and see any of those other tournaments, Friday or Saturday's editions, be sure to keep an eye out for those VODs because they are worth watching just for the amount of plays that came out, the great contests that we saw by all of the players. No game there was one-sided, but not the story here today. Much more one-sided competition. Congratulations to the Darfor being able to pick up those 1,200 credits. We, Casper, still going to be walking away with 500 credits and our third place, which is going to be played off stream. Going to be able to fight it out for those 300 credits that are left over. Congrats to everyone who participated in these tournaments, guys. I'd love to see more players. If you are sitting here watching the stream, we'd love to see you on the stream next time. Would like to get to see every player in Rocket League in South Africa being able to try out for these sort of tournaments. It has been an absolute pleasure being able to do it. If you want to keep up to date with more information on tournaments like this, be sure to follow the Rocket League South Africa Facebook page and join the Discord. All of these tournaments are posted on places like that, and you're going to be able to get all the information that you need out of that. Muzz, you've been a fantastic co-caster. Where can we find out more information about you?
There's my handle, Ginger Boogie. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, not on Facebook anymore at the moment temporarily, but yeah, basically Twitter. I follow all the scenes, retweet as much as I can just to get the word out of these guys' tournaments. Yeah. And
fantastic. Definitely go show him some love. Of course, some love goes to S Falcon and the team at MLGC for bringing us this tournament. Make sure to go give a like to them and go give them some love for this tournament. Even just put out a tweet saying, guys, we really enjoy this. Keep it up. We want to see more of this. The more support we get, the more tournaments we get. And so we want to see all the Rocket League we can. And I'm sure you want the opportunities to be able to play in as many tournaments as you can. So show some love and let's keep the South African Rocket League scene growing. If you want to keep up to date with me and all of my activities, I stream on Twitch and post my videos up on YouTube. That's Ultraism on both of those. And on Twitter, at Ultraism, I post about all the tournaments that I'm commentating. If you guys have enjoyed that, give me a shout out there. For us here at the team, though, it has been a fantastic tournament. Final closing thoughts, Muzz?
Just phenomenal Rocket League from everyone that participated. Pity that we had the two early forfeits there. I'd love to, it would have been great to have seen what Joshua could have done, and of course Galaxy as well. Didn't get to see them in the early rounds, but that's okay. Definitely still some superb Rocket League played this evening, and yeah, well done to everyone that participated, and we hope to see actually a lot more entrants next time.
I'd love to see that, guys. Until the next tournaments, this has been Ultraism and Muzz, and we'll catch you next time.
So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. Coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins. Won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it.